groups of them, 30,000 housewives and that, talking about McCann's all day, every day. Facebook McCann groups are little tribes who just argue with each other and forget about Madeline. She's not even involved in it anymore. It's all hate the McCanns or hate each other. Or hate me if they want, you know, I don't care. I'm proactive. I could do something in McCann's case if someone would support me, like I did with the Watts case. They don't want to. They don't want to.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here. That was a little bit longer than I remembered, and I do apologize, but there was a reason I wanted to play that. But anyway, let's welcome Sheila, Nosey Nana.
Hello.
And so far the internet's working.
Yeah, as I say, it's all right if I keep still. Don't move around.
Okay, well, keep still then. And Sandy Blue has popped up to, you're looking good today.
Very blue.
That's me.
Yeah, kind of.
That's what's in my head.
Blank look. But
yeah,
anyway.
That's what's in my ears.
Okay. Yes, what we've, I was really surprised one day when Sheila contacted me and she offered to come onto this live for her good reasons, that she finds it very frustrating to hear and see us in No Hate, particularly, I guess, making comments. And although she's in there and she can see the comments, she does have difficulty with her eyes. And I think I point that out as much as I can, that she can't, she has difficulty responding.
I'm also dyslexic as well.
Okay.
That doesn't help.
Well, that will make a difference too then.
Oh, right.
And you know, I just realized I'm talking about you as if you weren't here.
That's okay.
I do have my moments. But anyway, so I think this is great that she's come to join us. And also, I'm going to try and take some of your comments if there's anything that you wish to say. But it's so important to me that you all remain respectful. This isn't about trying to attack Sheila. If it is, she's gone. She's not going to be here. I won't allow it, apart from she won't be here. But it is important to understand why she feels the way she does. And I think that's a good reason. So I think, as far as I know, if we've got any mods, if there's any comments that are questionable or are not something that we really want to see, then you may be timed out. And if you come back and continue, I think they're going to ban you just for this broadcast, not for good. I know it's a very difficult kind of subject, but anyway. So Sheila, you actually first heard about AD from our Madeline group, right?
I did, and I actually went in there and watched some of his things because I thought it was very interesting. And obviously that led me on to Richard D. Hall's stuff, and then back to your stuff. So I've always been fascinated by it. I just like true crime. I can't help it. My husband thinks I'm weird, but
no.
As I say, I've actually have read all the Madeline's reports, and again at one time, I don't know where it happened, but I was actually writing, because I have actually a degree in criminology, and I did my thesis on it. I was told not to because it wasn't a solvable case, and I did it. But then I actually found another group that had actually translated the things as the Portuguese stuff as well, and it didn't correlate. I don't know what happened to it. It just threw me up a sort of, a river, and you just think, well, what's going on here? Because some things don't translate very well.
Yeah, there's always the question about the translations, and I do know that if there was any question, the volunteers that translated it would always go back, or there's always the Portuguese version that anybody who questions the translations can actually find their own person to translate. And that is partly why I played that first video, is because just recently, the reason I went into this community was because AD was making money. Alan was making money off Madeline. And I had a few people, including Sandy Blue, right? Do you remember that, Sandy? She's going to unmute. Maybe she'll unmute. But yeah, there was...
No, we lost you for a second.
Okay, so there was a few of the admin from abduction and scam, right? And anyway, they'd asked me if I could go over and try and ask AD to stop making money from Madeline, because the point is that the translators spent 4 years. They they did it all voluntarily. And we always say it's an unspoken rule, because I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to understand that if so many people have spent 4 years translating a good portion of the 40,000 pages, then how dare anybody make money from it? I think that was where it became an unspoken rule, and totally understandable. And finally, I was in touch with Chicken Lady, and she managed to persuade Alan to stop making money from it. I was highly, highly pleased. It means so much more than just, it's not just about don't make money. It's so much more, respect, whatever. And sadly, on the same day that he agreed, one of the people that had asked me to excuse asked me to try and do something, Leslie White, passed away on the same day that he finally agreed to not make money.
I didn't realize that was the same day.
Yeah, November. I'm not sure of the date, but it was the same day. And I was so pleased, because the next time he did Maddie, none of the mods, including yourself, Sheila, put any links in, and he took off links, I think, and it was so respectful. I was so pleased, until one day, maybe about 6 months ago, he didn't like me and decided to retaliate by saying he was going to he was not going to listen to me.
It was kind of a spiteful reaction, wasn't it?
Well, no,
it was
because
it was kind of a spiteful reaction.
Yes,
you, Leslie.
very, very spiteful. What were you going to say, Sheila?
Yeah. I actually spoke to Chicken Lady about that, and she said she managed to Alan was going ahead with it, and he wasn't using the Maddie thing, and he was respecting you. But then all of a sudden there was a big thing on there where you decided to attack him and go on about the money that he was getting in again.
What's that got to do with Maddie? Like, this is the thing. He was attacking me. All I was doing was exposing the money that he
Which is wrong.
Okay, that's your opinion, and that's fine.
It's not my opinion. You've worked it out on a formula which doesn't work. You can work out against anything.
Okay, if that's what you want to believe, and that's important, that I do have to respect your opinion. I will be explaining later. I know you don't really want to have anything to do about with the money, but I will be explaining later what my formula is, and it will show exactly what it is. But regardless, he got upset with me and suddenly decided, that's it. Not going to listen to anybody anymore. Don't like powerful women. Not that I'm powerful, but whatever. And he decided he was going to make money on Maddie. I mean, that to me is spiteful retaliation, I think.
Yeah, I'm childish.
Yeah.
Well, he can do whatever he likes on his platform.
So yes, he can. He can. He can do whatever he wants. Doesn't mean it's the right thing to do, or if it's respectful. And I found that so disrespectful towards Maddie, not to me. I don't care what names he calls me. He calls me all the names.
Lizzie, can I ask you? Can you just call her Madeline? Because I've actually been in contact with members of the family, not close members, but they just don't like her being called Maddie.
Okay, I will do that for this live. It's only relatively recently that I've changed from calling her Madeline. And as I mentioned to you, I can't remember why. there was a reason I decided that's it. But anyway, yeah. Now, where was I heading? Oh yeah, he decided he was going to make money, put the links on. It was very, very, very upsetting for me. Not for me personally, but just the respect, the lack of respect. And I did make note that the mods had started to put the links up again, but not as many. However,
can I just comment on something? Stand Up just said you can't have it both ways. You can't claim the money calculations are wrong, but don't want to get into it. I do want to get into it, but I respect Lizzie and it's her show. I will go into it. What have I got to say thank you for? What have I got to say thank you?
Okay, I can't see the comments. Hang on, I'm going to try. I've got it set to add some stuff, but I'm going to try and put it on comments, because unless you can, Sandy, if you can also let me know if you see any that I need to address. I kind of need help on this.
There's not an awful lot going on, to be honest.
Okay, that's okay then.
I can't see anything on YouTube.
Oh, you can't see any, but you can click on comments
No,
in the. Are you on a computer or?
That shows YouTube, does it?
Yeah, that's the comments.
You've got private. Oh yes, now private. I can see. Oh,
yeah.
I told you I was ready for this.
Okay, I'm trying to get rid of something here. Yeah, what I was seeing was.
Hi everyone in chat.
Yeah, I should say hello to everybody. I just get so carried away here. So it's great that you're here. But where I was going with that particular one was that the next time he did it, I did thank the mods in chat that first time. I don't know if you saw it, Sheila, but the second time they started putting in the links, but the third time, no links. So I felt that they'd realized that it's really important, and to respect Madeline in that way, by not only just Madeline, but also the volunteers put their heart and soul over 4 years. So I mean, how dare anybody make money from what they had done for nothing, so that was it.
Yeah.
So actually, Sandy, you're probably right. I should be saying hi to everybody. Now I've got the comments up, I can see a few people. Jen, of course, is there, and she's going to help mod, I believe. And Revy and Betsy B. Oh, and Nuff. Glad everything's good. Stand Up. Pinky Punky.
I like that name. Pinky Punky, that's a brilliant name.
Georgia Girl and Ellie. Ellie Not. No, Ellie Cat. You see, I'm really hopeless at this. I admit it. That's why Shirley always pops on and helps me. But we have to. Yeah, that's all I can see for now. So anybody who else comes in, hi everybody. And I've got this silly curl that's bugging me, but never mind. So what we'll do, you do want to understand the money maybe, but we'll deal with that later, because that could get a bit confusing. So what is it that really upsets you about what we do, Sheila?
That's all right. I get called Shirley a lot of times. As I say, it's not that. It's
Not
just that you
Shirley
will
Zen.
keep going on about it.
I'm sorry.
As
What
I
is
say,
it that
we live in a society which is run by money. If you didn't have money, if you couldn't earn money, we wouldn't exist. And for some years, Alan wasn't working, so that's what he was. Yes, he gets a pension now. Well, good for him if he can actually live on a pension.
Yeah, I
Well,
do.
Sheila, I do. That's all I have. I run
Yeah.
a car. I have a good life. It's not a struggle for me. But then I've never been greedy.
Well, what you call greedy is what you can go out there and get. You know, as I say, I wouldn't mind a bit more money if somebody was to give
Yeah.
it to me. But I'm
No,
quite
I wouldn't
comfortable.
refuse it. But what I'm saying is, it's not a struggle that he makes it out. And
think
I'm on my own. You know, it's all on me.
I think the part of what bothers us,
Sorry.
Sheila, is not so much that he's making money. I know a lot of people will make money, and that
Yeah.
part of it.
Yeah, like Scott, who's earning a lot of money because he's again, once you're monetarized, you're monetarized.
Yeah, but you know, I'm not interested in others, and right now I don't think Scott is not part of our community as far as no hate goes, so I'd prefer that we don't kind of delve into that. I just want to make it clear that we certainly have never supported some of the accusations, and
No,
I didn't
definitely not.
even and I didn't even refer to them in no hate. We just totally skipped past. And
But you was obviously supplying him with some of your old stuff because he had.
me?
Well, he thanked you.
Sheila?
He thanked
No,
you for
he
it.
called me an utter. He called me an utter. After I did a live, I was an utter, which is fine if he wants to call me an utter. No, I don't know where you get this, that any of us was supplying him anything. I certainly wasn't.
Well, somebody obviously gave him
Not
loads
me.
of old stuff.
Not me.
It wasn't from us, any of us, Lizzie or me.
He did. I remember initially, he did ask me, and on one of his lives, I think he'd mentioned, and I said, yes, I've got lots of stuff, but no, I've never been in correspondence with Scott whatsoever. Never.
Nor me.
And as I say, I disagree vehemently about some of the issues that he brings up, some of the things he says, but he's allowed to do, it's his channel, he's allowed to do that. On the other hand, I don't hate him totally. There's some things that I've watched, and yeah, he's made me laugh, and he's intelligent, and he's a bit of everything. So I don't judge people on just one of the facets of their life. It's so I don't particularly support him. I don't agree with him, but I don't dislike him totally in a sense. Excuse me, it's you that's supposed to be talking, Sandy.
Can I just ask a very bored question?
Yeah,
certainly.
Sheila, have you ever noticed him lying?
Again, I think the average person lies on average 7 times a day.
Well, no, not direct lies. That's when they say that, that's white lies when you're trying to be tactful. But I mean, when he lies for money, blatantly. Have you never noticed?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Again, it's
I'm
what
really
you
surprised.
Call it's what you call a lie and what you're saying about it.
Can I just interject
here?
Well,
how about when he had Super Chat taken away from him, and he lied and said he was doing it for his members, but it was taken away from him. That's the sort of lie I despise, because that's cheating.
I can't remember that.
It wasn't.
No.
What he did was very, very blatantly a lie, because as soon as he was demonetized, he begged and got on and begged to his subs to join Patreon, because he says, I've changed it now so that you can afford to, because I've taken off membership and super chat, so you can afford to join Patreon. I don't have that actual comment, but I do, not here, but I do have it. And that's what he was doing. He would never admit that he'd lost it. He just told them.
That deceptive? Sorry.
Pardon?
Sorry, Lizzie. Sorry, Lizzie. Sheila, don't you find that sort of tactic deceptive?
No.
Really? He's implying he's giving his subs something extra, when in fact it was an out and out lie. It was taken away from him. He said he chose to stop it. He didn't say he was made to. He said, I chose to stop it. Now that's a blatant lie. That's not a white lie. He can't admit.
I can't remember that.
Sorry.
I really can't remember that.
Well,
I remember it because it was so obvious. It just
I do have a few times where he did that. And what I've noticed on my StreamYard is a lot of my stuff is missing. It looks like they've cancelled a lot, because I think I'm only can have 100 pictures and videos. But yeah, I've got some, and I will make a point of adding those for you to see. And this is partly what I was going to say, Sheila. There's two things actually. One is that we've got to remember that, first of all, the only thing all of us have on here in common is the internet. So there's going to be everybody from all kinds of, all walks of life. And what happens, it's basically a human condition, that the first thing you hear and believe is what you want to stay with. You really don't want to admit to being wrong, but not even necessarily that. You don't want to not believe what you originally believe. You want to stand by it. You want to defend it. And
I don't defend anybody that I don't agree with, and I would never ever get myself in a position where I'm here defending somebody. Actually, Alan doesn't even know I'm here.
Oh,
he's not on you. No, why would I tell him? It's my attitude. It's me that's here. He's not on YouTube anymore. Leave him alone. Christ's sake, leave the man alone. But no, they're still going on, and they're still posting things from Rumble. Why? You don't like somebody, don't watch it.
Yeah, I don't think it's a matter of just that,
no,
Sheila.
When you see a crime, when you see a crime, you don't just turn your back on it. You don't. When you see somebody taking somebody's medicine money for his own pocket, you don't just sit back and think, "Oh, that's
again." You've got to be over a certain age to be on here, and if you're participating like an adult, you're adult enough to put money in there. If you don't put money in there, you don't get. And I'm not a liar either, Tootsie, whatever you call. I don't tell lies.
I think that's important. I don't think I've ever heard you actually telling any lies. Mind you, I haven't. You know,
I don't tell lies.
I think we've got to respect that.
The only lies I tell about me weight, and that'll be the one that I lie about.
Okay. I just tend not to kind of go there by default. But no, there's going to be
Sheila, while it's in
issues.
my mind,
And
'cause things are in one-
pardon?
Oh, sorry. I wanted to ask Sheila while it's in my mind, because things are in there and they're gone in an instant. Sheila, how do you feel about Alan claiming that he found the shadows when we all saw the proof that it wasn't him?
Again,
How do you feel about that? Because that is a lie.
I wasn't there when that happened, but I've had from other people. If you're working in a group and you're all looking at things, things will come up. And from what I can actually say, well, could keep saying it was Diane, the lady that passed away. What she said was she saw a shadow,
Yeah.
but she didn't specifically say it was under the truck. Alan was the one that pointed it out to where it was.
Yeah, she did say it was under the truck.
Well, she said it was
She
there.
did.
No, I've got the thing here, which I'm going to play.
Yeah.
I think it's important. She definitely did mention it was
Yeah.
by the wheel, and you'll be able to see it. She speaks about it. But something which was just mentioned, and I think it's important to know, Sheila, I know that you may feel you're being attacked. I don't know what's going on in chat. I have trouble kind of doing a few things at once, but it's really important, if you're going to respond to them, to be as respectful as I hope they're being to you, if you could.
Well, they're not being respectful.
Well, maybe if you could be, regardless of them, because they'll be sorted out. They're not necessarily going to say the right thing at the right time, but it's important for me if you know that I'm kind of well known for everybody that they sit on their hands.
Yeah.
They've got flat hands, and not just to be, polite.
As I say, I didn't know, Diane. I wasn't there when all that happened, so I can't really comment on all that.
Okay, well, I'm going to show you the video.
Yeah, I've seen it.
No,
I have
but
seen it.
If you know now,
No,
yeah. If you know,
she does say it's by the wheel, under the truck. She did.
Well, from what I actually remember, that's when I actually came into her. Alan had a lady called Sherry. Sherry. I can't remember what her surname was, but she actually came on the show because he was showing her work, and she said, well, that was actually she didn't have no voice on it at all. She didn't have anything over it. She just kept repeating and repeating, showing the crime photos of Nate's posting on there, and say she didn't have any words on it at all. She just had the video over and over again, and that's where he came. That's it, Sherry White.
I'm not sure who that is.
I don't think she's around anymore. If she is, she's under something else.
But what we do know, and it is confirmed, that Diane put it in the group in December.
I wasn't in there in December.
No, and you may not have been there, and this is what's important, is that if you look at this video, when I find it, it helps if I search through videos instead of pictures. I did have it. I did have it.
And no, London girl, Alan doesn't know I'm here, so it's up to me what I do. I'm blinking 66 years old. I can do what I like.
Good for you on that. I'm sorry I'm taking a while here, but I saw it. I thought I knew where it was, and now all of a sudden,
I have actually seen it. As I say,
I still want to play it again, because you've said that it wasn't seen under the under the truck by the wheel, and she did.
I do
Is
have.
there something?
Hang on, can I just answer something? Watching the False Detectives, I do have 2 degrees. I have a nursing degree and I have a law degree. I can actually show. I will show Lizzie at some time.
Oh, you don't know. I believe you, and I've just realised I was looking on the wrong brand thing, so I think I found this. But like I say, if you could recognise what you've said to us, that
Well, I said sorry. You know,
she did in December, it's really important because he's based his channel on a lie, because the lie is that he did not find the shadows. He did not.
again,
And it
I
was,
think the Sherry White actually was the first one to find it, and there was another one on there that actually found it at the same time.
it was in December it was found.
Well, I think that hers was about the same time. Again, I wasn't involved with the channel then.
There was in Stay Informed on the video when it first came out, there was a whole big thread about.
Yeah, I remember it because Robin was in there and another few others were in there.
Yeah, Country Cowgirl was in there. I went back. So he wasn't the first. He was not the first. And I mean, he's changed over time, saying I was the first to show it on a video or whatever. But okay. Finally, if I find the right, because I have in StreamYard, I have the option of looking at all my videos and pictures, or looking at chat, or looking at private chat. So if I'm looking in chat, I lose all my videos. I can't see them. So, and vice versa. But this is probably one of the most important things. Rest in peace, Diane, because Diane actually, in December, a month before Alan posted his January the 10th Shadows video, she actually was in contact with him on his Facebook group, and she did point out about the under the tire. She did mention under the tire. You can see it right there. And he took it on. He apparently booted her off the group.
Again, from what I know of Alan, to do with the Facebook group, he doesn't bother with anything.
Yes, he did back then. This was different. Wow. This was before he really got into doing the Watts case or anything. I mean, the fact is, he didn't even really start the Watts case until it was around December, because he was doing the Colin Sutton thing. So, but anyway, this is Diane. I want everybody to see that Diane, rest in peace, Diane. You were the one that discovered the shadows, and he's made a whole lot of money out of that. This is an Aussie life.
I don't really want to see it again, because I have watched it and I have watched it a few times.
It's not just for you. I think everybody needs to see it. So I'll just maybe show the portion, but yeah, it's really important, and it's an Aussie life that Val actually hosted.
I was a member of ARMCHAIR Detective's Facebook page, and so I sent my video and my timelines to AD, as the interview could see what I could see. I got no reply, and so I sent it again. I still got no reply. Computer went down right before Christmas. Imagine my surprise when I got my computer fixed and went onto AD's channel and saw him bragging about how he had found the shadows and how he's got 30,000 subscribers.
But they can't understand it. Well, the Armchair Detective's got nearly 30,000 subscribers in 4 months. That's why here. What's he doing? I'll tell you what he's doing. He found the shadows. That's what he did. When you have the DA from Colorado quoting you.
I'm blown away. I'd work non-stop watching Nate's video, frame by frame.
I had a big Facebook group. Oh, look, Chris Watts is carrying a baby out. And that was the shadows they're on about. I'm the only one that knows a shadow under the truck. The shadows. No one saw it. Not one person. I found the shadow under the truck. One of the children was still asleep. They both died in their beds. They were both smothered. So they were in bed. I think he's killed the girls before she got back and placed them in such a way, maybe on their sides or whatever, that it just looked like they were sleeping. This comes from my Shadows video that was on the 10th of January. 10th of January. The first ever showing of any shadows under the truck anywhere in the world, contrary to people saying they found it first. The shadows they're on about is him carrying somebody. I found the shadow under the truck. Chris Watts is carrying a baby out. I'm the only one that knows a shadow under the truck. Things that were found on the internet was somebody carrying a baby. It was under the truck shadows that I saw.
This sent me into a downward spiral of depression of which I'm still under. As the interview could see what I could see. As the interview could see what I could see.
Keep your eye under the truck. Yes, that's what you saw.
Yvonne in touch. It says, congratulations, Nosey Nana, on your education. How can you educate me onto why you believe this
Oh, that
idiot?
gets me every time.
I'm sorry, what? Are you talking about something in comments?
Yeah.
Okay.
Congratulations, Nosey Nana, on your education. How can you educate me on how you can believe this idiot that only wants money, doesn't care about? Sorry, it just doesn't care about feelings. He's disgusting. Well, you don't know him. I don't know him. None of us know him, and we don't know each other.
None of us know him, but I think what maybe there is a
Well,
little difference in
Sheila,
what we
how do you feel
actually
having-
see. Carry on, Sandy. Are you there, Sandy? Okay. What I was saying was, I think it's about perception, your perception, and what you see and what you know is within the little enclave of what you're dealing with and what he's telling you. And we see something totally different. What we see,
Yeah, well,
is
you
the
have
same.
been on at him about money. This is how much she's getting in. This is how much she was getting in. The figures do not add up. I'm sorry, Liz. I don't mean to affect you.
No. This is not a personal thing. I totally disagree, and I will be explaining how I came to those figures. There's no question.
Oh, hang on a minute. We've got another one. The Google search. Well, he's a grown-ass man, and he can. If it's on Google, you can look for it.
Okay, well, oh, I see Sandy disappeared. Maybe is that Sandy back again? I heard a little blip. Yeah. The Google search. Yeah, he in his
Sorry.
own life, whatever, he can do whatever he wants.
And he's
But
not
what he
even
did do-
married. So
But what he did do was accidentally show something which a lot of people were really offended by, and a lot of some of the mods actually left because they realized
no, they didn't leave because of that.
that was part of it.
That was a couple of them took offended. Wended with it.
There were people offended by that.
Well,
and
people can get offended by whatever they like.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's it was something which I think many of us,
most of them have actually spoken to me since and said they're not offended by it.
okay.
And he's not on about money every 5 minutes, Yvonne.
Yes, he is. I'm afraid he is.
No, he's not. He's not on every 5 minutes going on it.
Well, when we say money, yes, he is. I just watched something this morning, and I mean every other thing was money. But I want to show you something which I haven't actually really promoted much. I did it at one time, and I have to find it.
They didn't leave because of that. They left because of other things that were going on in the chat. And
Well, I'm. However they left, that was part of the reason they left, and
Mo, and I think it was, I can't remember who the other girl was. I think it was Debbie. They actually left because they didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, there was more to it. They might not have told you there was more to it, but I just want to find this thing here, which, geez, I'm really bad at multitasking, and I know I put it on here just today, so I know it's here.
A Reverend Green, it's about the sex offender. Who do you think is going to be in the prison that specialises in sexual offences with Chris Watts? It's not going to be Twinkle Bell, is it? It's going to be somebody that's got a criminal record.
I'm afraid it's buffering a lot for me. I'm listening a lot.
Hang on.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm losing something here. You were just. Can I just address something, Sheila, on that? While I'm busy searching for something, you're talking about when David Carter was on with the sexual. Yeah. Okay. He had David Carter on. Do you agree with the fact that after hearing everything from David Carter, that he seemed to feel sorry for him. And
again, can I interrupt you? I've actually spoken to David. You know what people do in their life. He paid for his crimes.
okay, that's not where I'm going. That's not where I'm going.
He had other things going on in his life.
That's not where I'm going. What I want to ask is, how on earth could you and the others agree to offer to his subs that they pen friend him? In other words, their email addresses to go to him and offering money and things like that. That is just outrageous to think that that happened. That anybody on that live that night would not turn around and say, stop. I don't care whether you've got justification for whatever he did or whatever happened.
I don't justify anything like that.
It was a 13-year-old girl. And here's AD and Bubbles saying, oh, yeah, well, we can get you pen friends. And that's what was planned.
As Alex was actually banned, she was asked to take the stuff down. She wouldn't have lost her channel if she should have just taken the stuff down.
Hang on, who are you talking about?
Alex Callow. Somebody just posted up what he did to her. Well, he did it. He commented 3 times, please take it down, Lex. And she'd come into chat and she didn't take it down.
As I recall, she was in a different, she's over here in Canada, 3 hours behind me. And she didn't see what was there any more than I would have seen if it was on my channel.
As you know and I know, when you run a channel, you are responsible for what is present. I did say to Ellen, she's obviously asleep and hadn't seen what was on there and this, that, and the other, but she did it again.
She did it again?
Yeah.
Or are you talking about 3 times for the same issue?
No, she did it 3 times, I think.
I'm not so sure about that. I really am not. And regardless.
But she had also comments. I think
we're talking about Lex Callier. I did have a video on
the reason the reason he was removed from YouTube, he doesn't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. It's in the terms and conditions, which, if you go through them, are 12 pages. So he doesn't know.
Yeah, we know. He's trying to blame it on everything. The point is,
he's not blaming it on anything. He's just saying he doesn't know.
Sheila, he read it out. He read it
again,
out, Sheila. It was for serious and repeated. Whoa, hang on. It was for serious. But that's what it was for.
Breaches, repeating, breaking of the rules. The rules go on for 12 pages. So if you can't point out what they did, which they didn't do, they don't have to. It's their platform. They can do what they want.
It was a violation of YouTube's terms and service. He's trying to blame it on so many reports from so many trolls.
He doesn't know what it's for. Neither do you.
It's not that. I have seen so many violations, and it wasn't too long ago.
And he's not the only one.
Let me please finish what I'm saying here, Sheila. It wasn't that long ago that he had a community guidelines strike. And what that meant was, apparently it was because he had ignored some of the violations and he continued to do them. It was, at that time, it was a copyright.
No, it wasn't
against Disney, I think.
It wasn't
ABC.
copyright.
Well, there was a copyright at the same time, but that's not a community guidelines thing. What the community guidelines was brought into, and that he was banned for, was it a week? It's because he had violated continuously and ignored and continued to violate. Now, also on the night that
Oh, hello.
Pardon?
I just see Mike in chat. Hello, Mike.
Oh, okay. The night that he was the last night, he should know, as well as we know, that he was streaming the same content to another channel. Total violation. That is against the rules, against terms of service. And there is no question that I think was, well, I won't say it's not the total question, but I think that took it over the limit, that with everything else that he'd done, and he hadn't listened to them. He had been told to that he was violating. Hello. He was violating without and ignoring everything.
I know genetic code. You are never told by what you're breaking on YouTube. I interact with another group that has nothing to do with trochroma, and they don't tell you. But to be honest, it would have been nice if you actually take somebody's channel that was all it's got on it is painting, which is what they did to him.
Well, yeah, but once you're under, especially with AdSense, once you're under a channel, it goes for all channels, and he has violated that before now. He's circumvented a lot of times. I mean, he used Bubbles to promote and her video channel on Patreon. Total violation of Patreon. There were so many violations he has done, and I have proved them, and it shows terms of service. Look at the first time when he was banned, and showed on his title of the last video, he kept changing it to go to speak to everybody. That is also a violation, terms of service, that you can get booted for. So, yeah, he did lots of violations.
You know, on the night that Alan went down, I think there was actually 7 channels that got terminated because they're tightening up. And they should also go on about bullying people.
Well, I'd like to see those 7 channels, because if that is the case, then whoever told you...
Sorry, they're not all true crime. There are different
Whoever
things.
told you can produce those 7 channels and see whether or not it happened on the same day. But I still maintain that there is every excuse that he's not going to admit that he screwed up. He screwed up.
He did screw up. He admits that he screwed up.
And it was, he didn't listen to the terms of service, and he violated.
They actually changed the terms of service in, I think it was June. But again, he obviously didn't keep up on them. It's up to him.
I would imagine he didn't just violate the changes. I think you will find, if you actually, if I had time, I'd write down all the violations that he's done. There was a lot.
And so have other people. Going around.
Doesn't matter about other people. I don't care about other people. We're talking about AD. And we're talking about the fact that he gets on and tries to act like, well, I don't know. All the trolls were reporting me, and I guess they had enough. No, he was blatantly violating their terms of service several times. I can only give you a couple that I can think of. They're old ones.
Sorry, Liz. Why are you so facetious going on at him? It seems to be an obsession with him to record everything he's gone, and you've got it there, and you're going to bring it up, and you're just watching him all the time. Why?
No, I'm not watching him all the time. I tell you, I did mention it to you before, Sheila. I've been accused by him.
Please ask Sheila a question.
It's important. I want to be able to say that I've been accused.
Sorry, I've got a. Can I just wait a minute? I've got a blinking light that's flicking in my eyes.
Oh, you've still got that light.
I'll turn it off. That's better. I can't see nothing.
Okay.
Now.
Okay. I've been accused of being obsessed with him. I mean, thank God I've never been accused of anything else. But that is not obsession. I am certainly not obsessed with him. But what I am is I detest lies. I detest somebody who is lying to other people. Now, as I mentioned to you, in 17 years that I've been on the internet, or close to, I maintain communication with everybody. I don't hate anybody. There's just two people in that 17 years that I want nothing to do with. Not to say if they needed my help, I'd still be there, but two people. And what it is, I've got two things. One is, don't ever lie to me personally. And the other one is, don't ever break my trust. Now, those two people did both of those things to me. But as far as everybody else goes, I communicate with them. I don't care. People think I'm supporting people. Oh, no, I just haven't got time in my life to hate and all that kind of stuff. You can call me whatever name you want.
Can I just answer something in chat? Genetic code. Yes, I know that those people haven't followed him because they were interested in one particular subject. He's not doing that particular subject. They've gone on and found somewhere else. That's called life.
I see. The thing is, this for me, and I mean, I know you don't like me talking about the amount he made. This is not about.
What are you? Hang on a minute. What are you going to do about it? Oh yeah, you've actually emailed Frankie's detectives. Sorry, his lawyers and told him what he's earned. Do you think they're not able to check and things like that? Again, if he earned it last year or the year before, it's down to him. Yeah, I know genetic code. It's not good, but as I say,
you're saying to me what I've done.
Can I just interrupt?
Yeah, please, Sandy. Sandy, have your say. Oh, have you disappeared again? Are you having trouble on there? Is this why you suddenly go quiet? I guess so. Sometimes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, you keep coming in and out.
Is it? Can you?
She's gone again.
Yeah. It's difficult when that happens.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can now. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh, it keeps buffering. Ask Sheila something before I get chucked off again.
Yeah. What did you want to ask Sheila?
I'm here.
Yeah, but Sandy's not.
I know it's awful when it does that.
I'm back again. When you, after Lizzie has shown you that proof that AD has lied and claimed that he saw all the shadows, claimed it as his own, on asking questions but not answering.
I can't hear you.
I think she probably wants
So
to
I want
know.
to give that he claims.
You're breaking up, love.
She probably wants to know if you realise now that he was lying.
Again, he's not lying. I think from what I remember, Sherry Wise and other people found it at exactly the same time.
Same time as Diane?
I think so.
So why is he saying he was the one that found it?
I don't know.
Well, this is where he has built his money, he himself, and I've seen it. I've seen how he made 30,000
It's a
subs
lie, isn't
around
it?
the time. He based it on what?
Oh, and do you read? Do you believe everything you see on the internet? No, you don't. It's down to individual perception, what they
No, but
believe and
Jenny,
don't believe.
it's like that.
I don't blindly believe anything.
No,
Why would
neither
you
do
say
I.
that?
Because you're actually saying that's what has happened. Is that
That's really naive.
Yeah, it did happen in January of 2019. He himself has claimed 30,000. But if you look at where his subs go, sure, absolutely. He gained about 30,000 subs from January until I think the beginning of April. And it just went up really high during that time. Those are the subs that he was claiming were part of his 100,000, but in actual fact, they probably had no idea he even existed, which obviously he's not getting them back, so they're not following him. But yeah, Diane, he did base it all on Diane's suggestion, and he uses it to this very day. He even wrote the book based, making it look. I know you want to speak on this, Sandy.
Again, the book, he took loads of things out. He actually took stuff out that he had copyrighted because he didn't want to get into trouble.
Yeah, but he named the book. He named himself Shadow Man.
Again,
wrongly.
that's what people called him.
Wrongly, because he expected them to. You do realize that a lot of the times he tells you things and justifies things.
He doesn't tell me anything.
No, I can believe that you don't. I do know, and I do realize that there's lots that you stand up for. You do stand up for yourself. But in passing, there are many things he says which is easily believable by anybody who doesn't know any difference. I mean, do you remember how he claims that he lost money on the books, and it cost him £2,000, dollars, whatever, because of the books? Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
Do you know why he lost that 2,000?
Again, I wasn't involved in the book, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, but in general, he's making it out that he lost 2,000 on the books because of us, because of trolls, because of somebody reporting him.
If you actually go on to Amazon and read some of the disgusting comments that were put there, they weren't even verified buyers, so they didn't actually. They hadn't actually read what he'd written in the book, and they were just going at him because they don't like him.
I got the book, Sheila. I got the book, and
So
I was it was unbelievable. On one page, there is about 5 lines, and then it's blank, and then it goes up to the formatting was absolutely dreadful.
I know.
But that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to find out from you is he often mentions this $2,000 that he lost because of the books, because we did something. He couldn't make any money and he lost 2,000 for whatever reason. You've heard him say that, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you have. I'll tell you the real reason that he lost that 2,000 is because he was found out by Amazon fraud.
I know all that. I actually was in contact with Bubbles at that stage when that was going on. He didn't know that was wrong, and Amazon allowed him to sort it out. So it didn't interfere with his numbers. He wasn't fined by Amazon at all.
What happened was he had 2 or 3 uploaded, and Bubbles probably knew exactly what she was doing. But we don't know that. The fact is that Amazon chose.
Sorry, Yvonne, I am not in a cult. I have never been in a cult, and I'm not indoctrinated, whatever you call it.
Okay. Well, what happened was that there was a few different ones uploaded, and they were uploaded with different titles. And the reason they had slightly different titles was because that meant that the bots that go around Amazon wouldn't have recognized there was 2 books, 2 to 3 books, but let's say 2. Nicole Morgan, as you know, is an author, and she was in touch with Amazon, and Amazon fraud department decided to allow him to keep the one that hadn't made much money. That they could have taken him right off, but they allowed him to keep the one, and they took off the one that had got the most downloads or sales, and he had to pay back the royalties on that, which was about the $2,000, and that's where the $2,000 comes in, because he or Bubbles or both screwed up and actually did something which was fraudulent, and it was contrived because they changed the titles. There was whatever the title was.
Sorry, can I answer something? I'm not in love with him. I've been married 38 years, and I'm very happily
be in love with him. I'm sorry. I believe you're there. But did you hear what I just said?
Yes, I do understand all that, and I was very
so he's lying when he says it's all the trolls. His books are not doing well because of all the trolls. No, they committed a fraud to Amazon, and Amazon fraud decided to give him a break and let him keep one, but took the other down.
Again, I know other people that have done that. He changed things because people have commented.
No, Sheila, you're either kind of justifying it or going off on someone else. I'm talking about him and what he tells us and what he tells his subs, and he lies to them by saying the trolls, it's because of the trolls I lost money on the book and this, that, and the other. No, it wasn't the trolls. It was himself and Bubbles. And as far as this, I tell you what, Sheila, do you know one of the things that really, really aggravates me is that, well, I'm not tech. I'm not very good at tech.
No, I'm
well,
not.
It's about darn time he learned. None of us are any good at tech until we actually take the time, but he's so lazy. And this is where I can see how you and all the others are used. And I really hate that. I mean,
we're not used at all. Nobody on his team does anything for him unless he asks for it.
Yeah, which is just about everything.
Well,
I don't know. He has never that I have seen done any research himself. And you know what happens when it goes wrong? Who does he blame? The person that sent him the research. He's done that so many times, and I felt so sorry for the mods many times. I mean, with Kaka, including Kaka, who just recently would have really had it all. And you know what? As a creator, he should be doing it himself, and maybe just coming to you for other odds and ends. But no, he has everybody else doing his work. Hang on. Okay, just on this one.
I'm not used, Elaine. I've got my own place, I've got my own life, and I get on very well with it. Thank you. I don't need to be here. I don't need. Again.
Yeah, I think what you're saying, Sheila, is you're more on the sidelines, and I can kind of understand that. We tend to see mods as enablers. You know, you help him make him that money. He does beg for money. There is no question he begs for money, and he lies to beg for money. You know, when he's making a lot of money, he'll still go on and say, I don't make any money off YouTube. And then when he gets taken off YouTube, all the money he doesn't make, all of a sudden is, they didn't pay me. They didn't pay me. I mean, what does that tell you? But hang on. I really care about how he has treated his mods. And we do know that at least 2 of them ended in therapy. And here he's mentioning about passing everything to Kaka. But you know what? He should be doing the darn lot himself. He should be learning the tech. He's a grown man. I'm older than him. And even I have learnt how to do things. And if I don't know, I learn and I take the time. But why doesn't he? He just blames it on tech and somebody else will do it. But hang on.
Again, the thing about
Martin snuck people into Patreon, pretended to be supporters, and then they gather statements and even clips from patrons. Yeah, I know, Spicy Lady. They're so underhand, aren't they? Anybody that gives me super chat, those poor people that give me super chat tonight, they will go and try to find them on Facebook and tell them off tomorrow. They all have their little jobs, like they all have a WhatsApp group where they say what they're going to do. You piggyback off of me. Welcome, new patrons. And I have to say that you regular patrons are keeping me here, you know, really. I have to say a special thanks to Kaka. You have no idea the amount of work that lady gets through. Dealing with this police force and that police force, and they're doing this, and you go right to that letter, and then there's a court case, and then there's a new patron, there's the write-up and the script. She does so much for us. I have to thank you, Kaka. All of you, everybody, but Kaka seems to have a particularly lot on her plate lately. So I'm trying not to give her too much work to do at the moment. I'm concentrating on Annie's story because I don't need any help on that. So, but anyway.
Again, can I actually answer Lady Loken in chat? He said that Robin stole from his subs. I don't know about that, but I do know that Robin lost her job, and she asked Alan if she can put a PayPal in the Facebook group, and she did it within 2 minutes.
Not only that, I have where AD has told her and has approved.
I like Robin. I always did.
Yeah. So
well, that's not true.
Yeah. So that there's neediness, and there's greed, and if you know whatever it was, AD had approved it. I've got the video where he approves it. I've also got the video how nasty he was to her afterwards. I mean, that is.
Wouldn't you do if somebody that you trusted and was on the, all she kept saying was, I don't want to see all this nasty stuff. I just want to come in here and do a bit of spannering and just take the nasty comments out, and that was it. And that's all she ever did.
Well, I don't think anybody deserves. I've got what he's got to say here, and I don't think anybody deserves that. And he's particularly rude and nasty to so many people. I mean, just last week, you know, when he shouted down the stairs to Steve or whoever it is, he didn't say, "Hey, Steve, can you turn off the TV?"
He didn't threaten Robin.
I'm
And as I
just talking
say,
about how he treated his whoever it was that was under. He just
and
told him,
Robin did
"Get
not
off."
Robin did not have to pay to go into Patreon. Every night in the Spanner chat, the Patreon link is posted and has been since before I was there. If you don't like it, you can go and ask Mo. She'll tell you.
Mike wouldn't do Patreon because of it. But anyway, this is the video, which I think is a disgusting response to Country Cowgirl. I'm sorry.
Anyways, I thought I'd start off with a little story for you about a country girl, Country C. That sounds good, doesn't it? CC, Country C, yeah. There's an ex-mod walking around the streets of YouTube, ex-mod of ours, Country something, telling lies. Like she needed therapy to get past being a mod for me because of abuse. What abuse? I never even speak to them. I never speak to my moderators. You can ask any of them. Yeah, any of the old ones. I don't speak to them. I do it for a reason. I don't want to speak to anybody who might turn on me, like this one did. Now, abuse, my backside, pay me. She never paid me a penny. And at a spike when I found the shadows. Be careful with your new friends. They'll stab you in the back. They already have. Your new friends are using you and laughing at you. You should see the names they call you behind your back. We've seen them and they're not nice. I'm not going to repeat them. So you better watch out. You're being watched. So stop your claiming, go away. And we don't want to hear any more about you, and I won't say any more. If you continue on the streets and these shadows, I will tell them more about you. That'll do for now. Country. I'm going to wind your neck in. Because I'm happy to tell the rest of the stories. Right? That's you dealt with.
Pretty disgusting. Pretty
Well, no,
disgusting.
because she was on everybody's
I
channel.
don't care what Sheila, please stop justifying it. Whatever she did, and whatever he thinks of her, he has no right to go public and start saying things like that in public after her working for him for how long voluntarily. No, you don't. This is
well, you don't have the right. You don't have the right to tell anybody what to do. Nobody does on here.
I don't tell anybody what to do.
Again,
I just let them know if I disagree.
Well, that's it. That's fine. That's okay to disagree. You know, nobody likes everybody. I know there's an awful lot of people that don't like him. And yeah, yes, I have given him money. I can give him money. It's my money.
And you give it in my name. I've seen it. I've seen you do that.
It wasn't
this
you.
Is for Lizzie. Yeah, right.
It wasn't you, Liz. It was another Liz.
It doesn't matter. I thought it was funny. But we have Shirley popping on. Sandy Blue had to leave, I guess because she was losing her thing. But hang on, Shirley is popping on. Hi, Shirley.
Hello, Shirley.
Hello. So I can see that you're not really able to look at the chat, Lizzie. So I'm here to help with that.
No.
One of the first things, and I promise, Lizzie, I will try to keep this as civil as possible. Oh, by the way, Sheila, yeah, I'm Cheryl Zed, if you didn't know that. So
yeah, I did actually.
Yeah, we can discuss that later. One of the things that is going on in the chat right now, and I'm trying really hard not to be disrespectful about this, but everybody's a little frustrated because you refuse to answer any questions. Every time Lizzie gives you the actual proof of what you're disputing, you change the subject or read a comment from the chat to respond. And we would just kind of like you to stay on task and answer the questions thoroughly.
Ask me a question. Ask me a direct question.
'Cause,
Ask me a question. Ask me a direct question. Okay. Ask me a question. Ask me a direct question. Okay. Ask me a question. Ask me a direct question. Okay. Ask me a question. Ask me a direct question. Okay. Ask me a question. Ask me a direct question. Okay. Ask me a question. Ask me a direct question. Okay. Ask me a question. Ask me a direct question. Okay. Ask me a question. Ask me a direct question. Okay. Ask me a question. Ask me a direct question. Okay. Ask me a question. Ask me a direct question. Okay. Ask me a question. Ask me a direct question. Okay. Ask me a question. Ask me a direct question. Okay. Ask me a question. Ask me a direct question. Okay. Ask me a question. Ask me a direct question. Okay. Ask me a question. Ask me a direct question. Okay. Ask me a question. Ask me a direct question. Okay. Ask me a question. Ask me a direct question. Okay. Ask me a question. Ask me a direct question. Okay. Ask me a question. Ask me a direct question.
There were plenty of them.
Like what?
The shadows. You said first off, he's the one that claimed that it was under the truck. Lizzie showed proof that that wasn't the case. Then all of a sudden, now you want to read something in the chat about his Google searches. You want to talk about that. Then you want to talk about David Carter, and you want to talk about how, the guy's done his time, so everything's fine, and blah, 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 blah. And then
I didn't say
okay,
he's done
so
his
I'm going to
time.
say something. I promise I will not interrupt you, but do not interrupt me, please.
I'm very sorry, but there's an echo on here and it keeps going over the chat. So I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. So we would just like you to finish answering one thing. Every time Lizzie shows you proof, you divert it. So that's what I'm here to help keep that straightened out. I'm here to help Lizzie get the questions that are going in chat, because I know she's having a hard time reading them.
I can't see them.
Right. Well, that too. All right. So I will go on mute now. And again, the whole constantly interrupting when Lizzie's trying to explain something to you, to read something in chat that you don't like. I get it. I've been on panels plenty of times. It's very frustrating when you read something in the chat and you want to respond, but it's still incredibly disrespectful to just totally cut her off to respond to something in the chat. So I'm asking if you could please refrain from doing that.
I won't do that then. Okay. But as I say, there is an echo, and the from my end, the voices are actually going over each other. So I do apologize for that.
Thank you. All right. I'm going back on mute. I'll just hang out here for a minute.
Okay, then, Shel. Yeah, there's this is the thing, is that this is kind of difficult, because not only do I appreciate you coming on, Sheila, you didn't have to, you offered, and you do have thoughts, you are explaining your thoughts, but I do agree that trying to get you to acknowledge straightforwardly.
Again, he's not, as I said to you this morning, he's not perfect. He has made mistakes.
That's not an answer. When I mentioned to you about with David Carter, it's got nothing to do with what, well, kind of has something to do with what David Carter did. But what I was trying to point out was Bubbles and Joe the Cat and AD were all suggesting, and it's a great idea, for pen pals and supporting David. And he was basically feeling sorry for him. Bubbles was claiming that she was a 13-year-old girl, and they dress in that kind, insinuating that they're suggestive because of how they dress, that's an excuse. But apart from what the actual crime was, they were suggesting to the subs to give out their email addresses and get in contact with him. I mean, if that is not, I mean, the mind boggles. Do you agree with that? Do you not turn around to him and say, for goodness sake, this is not safe, it's not good to do? Or did you just go along with it?
I don't think I was around when the David, but
Okay.
I've actually have spoken to David, because he was around for quite some time after that. And again, I don't condemn. I'm not in the same country as him. I don't know.
Yeah, and I have to agree. Now, I do, again, I don't like addressing all the old issues. There's so many old issues that we keep bringing up and up and up.
Sorry, can I just start? They're asking about the shadows. What are you supposed to be to do about it? Unfortunately, Diane has passed away, and as far as I'm concerned, Alan's moved on. So I'm sorry.
Okay, but that's not the answer we're looking for. The answer I am looking for on that, sorry, Shirley. Go ahead. The answer I'm looking for on that is, do you agree that he lied and he's built his channel and everything else around him on Shadow Man, and he is lying. It was a lie, a total lie. He took Diane's information, also went along with what was on the other video, can't remember the name, and Country Cowgirl was there, and it was all known. Back in December, he comes out in January the 10th and then builds himself up to be the Shadow Man. Now, that's a lie. Do you agree?
No, I don't agree, because it's whoever got it out there first and whoever run with it.
No. It's whoever found it. That's what he claims. He found it first. He did not find it first. We have ample proof of that. So is it a lie when he turns around and says, well, I found it first, so I'm Shadow Man? Sorry, Shirley.
No, you're saying the same thing. I mean, you're trying to split hairs on this, Sheila, and it's black and white. He specifically said he found the shadows right there.
Well, he did when he looked at.
No, Sheila, he did not. And Lizzie showed you a video that showed proof of that. And then when the video was over, you immediately started talking about something else. So either you think that video, whatever was in that video, was a complete lie and he's telling the truth, or he was being deceptive. You have to pick a side, and that's all just state it. Which is it?
Again, I think Diane found it, but she was in his group and she did communicate it with him.
We're telling you what he said. He said he found it. We showed you proof that that's what he said. Are you disputing his own words coming out of his own mouth?
No.
Okay, so if he said he found it and you're sitting here saying that you're agreeing that Diane found it, then you, by definition, you're stating he lied. Am I correct?
He didn't steal it from her. She.
I didn't say stealing. I said he lied.
That's what it says in the chat. Sorry.
I don't care. I don't care what's in the chat. I'm asking you a direct question. Either you're stating that Diane found it. He stated with his own words many, many times. I mean, if it was a drinking game, we would all be dead with alcohol poisoning, that he found those shadows. So by definition, he's the one that's lying, according to your opinion that Diane found them. Is that correct?
Again, I think from what I will remember, and I wasn't around an awful lot then, and I definitely wasn't on Alan's channel at that particular time. He was one of the first big YouTubers to put it out there.
No. He claims that. He claims he was the first one. That is not so. It was on a video before. It was over Reddit.
No, I saw it on Reddit
on a video and being discussed with a major thread going back for 5,000 pages.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And that was in December. So no, he was not the first one to get it out. He was not the first one to discuss it. He was not the first one to find it. And he was taking it and using the information from somebody else.
And claiming he found it.
Yeah, that is all a lie. There is no getting away from it. There is no getting away from it.
So Lizzie, sorry to interrupt. I want to go back to Sheila. I want you to please, you're here to answer questions. You said you would answer questions. Again,
listening.
I'm asking you, answer the question. He said with his own words, he found the shadows. You just said you admit that Diane found them.
Again, that there was a couple of people that found them all at the same time.
So he lied when he said he found them then. If there were multiple.
He found them at the same time.
No, he did not.
No, he didn't find them till January, because as you can see on that video, in December the 20th, I think it said, he's still believing that the children were suffocated in their bed.
On the bigger picture, what does it matter?
Sheila, stop.
It's important to us.
Stop. You said you would answer questions. When I first came up, you said, okay, ask me a question. I'm asking you the question for the 90th time. Can you I don't want to hear it
again. Don't exaggerate. It's not 90 times. Just say yes or no. Do you believe he lied when he said he found them? Yes.
Thank you.
I don't believe he lied. He found them. So did other people at that particular
No.
time.
He
Well, that's
didn't
scary,
find
though.
them at the other.
Even if he found them in his Facebook group that Diane had posted, which is the only way she could have contacted him at that particular time. He found them.
But
So why do you suspect that he blocked her after she came back after she was off YouTube, and she's like, whoa, wait a minute, I sent you that. And he called her a liar. He said that she was obsessed with him, and then he blocked her on Facebook and on YouTube. So if he's being upfront, hey, I found them, you had nothing to do with this, Diane, why would he do that?
I don't know.
yeah,
I don't live with him. I don't know.
You do. You just don't want to say it.
No, I don't know.
Okay, why do you suspect he did that then?
I don't know. Because of
You
that particular
have all
time.
these degrees. You can't hypothesize on this. You have all these degrees. So you should be
I have a nursing degree, and a law degree.
I wasn't laughing at the nursing degree there. I'm sorry. It's just the way that Shirley said, you've got all these degrees. And you
well,
said
I'm just saying, I mean, anybody can come up with a hypothesis on why they can, maybe it's not correct, but they can at least come to their own conclusion on why they think he might have done all of that. Whether he's your friend or not. If somebody asked me, why did Lizzie block this person? Why is she refusing to talk to them? And I can say, well, I don't know. I haven't asked, but maybe it's because of this. That's all I'm asking. Why would you think as a possible reason he would do all that as soon as she came back and confronted him about that?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
I'm not asking if you were there. You know what happened, though, because you've seen the proof. You've seen all the stuff that people have said about it. So you can at least come up with an idea. Come on.
Well, it would be an idea. It would be that his channel was building at that time, and he was using it. That's not.
He was using it to make money. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's exactly why
I do have a criminology degree.
That's good. I've heard that, Sheila, that I'm sorry, I didn't, when it was just when you were talking about degrees in that, and you said nursing in the context of what we were talking about. I'm sorry, that made me laugh. But no, you do have a criminal thing as well. And a lot of people don't realize it, I think, because you have trouble on the group with your eyes, and it doesn't really come across that you do have knowledge. Now, I'm just going to play something because it's actually kind of relevant. It's a comment from Dr. Phil, but it's important for us to remember. Maybe not for you, Sheila, but it's important for us to remember.
Let me tell you the second half of confirmation bias. When you have someone that suffers from confirmation bias and you bring them evidence to the contrary, it actually deepens their bias.
It's okay.
It deepens their bias. It doesn't cause them to move. Nope. It causes them to hunker down and say, okay, I'm under attack here, so I'm going to really hang on to my beliefs even more tightly.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that happens, and it's okay, Sheila. That
again, you can take anything out of context and just slap a bit in there, and you can interpret it whatever you like.
No, I didn't take anything out of context. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
How was it out of context?
Well,
I mean, I might not necessarily always post the right video at the right moment, but this is certainly in context. Is that there's a lot, and I believe. I've never, unlike some that are here, I have never been rude towards any of the subs or any of the admin or any of the mods. I have my opinions, but I've never been rude about them. And my belief is, contrary to what many people get annoyed with me, is that once you hear somebody and you support them, and it feels good, and then somebody comes along and tries to tell you that you're wrong, the first thing, it's a human behavior that the first thing you want to do is justify why you were right. And that's where
I'm not saying I'm right, and I'm not saying that Alan's right. Is that at that particular time he used a bit of information that was out there. Once you put something out there and it's on the web, and it was in Reddit as well at that particular time. I don't think Alan was into Reddit.
I wasn't talking about anything specific. I was talking about in general how your mods and admin and subs have learnt to believe what because believe me, he does tell you a lot that is absolutely not true. He told things about me that are not true. I mean, supposedly I've got a bell that rings in the middle of the night and I go running to
he was being sarcastic.
No.
What you know about him, he comes with very, he's got very sarcastic.
Was he being sarcastic when he asked his whole chat to go out and get information on me? Was he being sarcastic about that when he said it on several lives? Was that sarcastic?
I don't even know that. I don't.
No, oh, bullshit.
No, I'm not bullshit.
He said it on several lives, wanting Cheryl Zed's information. If anybody can get that, her address, where she works, her children's names. He asked on several lives. You're going to tell me you never heard all that, but you know who Cheryl Zed is, you said when I came up. How do you know that?
It's only because Liz told me who you are.
So you don't actually listen to his lives, which I can understand. I would do the same thing if I was his mod. I'd mute his ass and I would just watch the chat. But are you saying you never heard on 3-4 separate lives him asking about my information? You never heard that?
And if you were away, I do know that you disappeared at some point. I'm not saying that. But what I'm seeing is that a lot of what you're answering is a lot of I don't knows. But what that's telling me is that there's a great big world of lies out there that you don't know because you haven't seen. So you're not you're believing everything because you haven't seen it.
I don't believe everything. If I believed everything, I believe there was pixies in the gardens and things like that. It's ridiculous.
I don't know, where did that come from?
Well, it's the same as you saying I believe everything. I don't believe everything.
No, I'm trying to say that because there's a lot of what we tell you that you are saying, well, I don't know, I wasn't around, or this, that, the other. That means there's a heck of a lot of other stuff that you don't know. And that's what I'm saying, is a lot of where you're coming from is your perception of the things you do know, and they might not necessarily be all the same things that we know. And we know a heck of a lot, and that's why I've got the group. So, I mean,
I think that's what frustrates people a lot, because, especially in No Hate, you come in wanting to defend him. And
I do go in there and say that because there are things that happen when I was actually there. When you start ridiculing how he looks and things like that, and it gets down that line. Oh, he said he did this. Oh, and she must be AD because she's defending him. No, that's not right.
So you weren't around when he went super hard for Lex Calia, from my understanding.
Yes, I was there. I was actually there. I was actually there that morning when he was on.
No, when he talked about her looks, he went on and on and on, mocking her voice, talking about her braces, saying she had green teeth. He's talked about Lizzie, this old decrepit woman living in a basement, these old lady. So he goes for people's looks, and you're okay. Are you okay with that?
I don't care what anybody else says.
So why do you care what we say about his looks?
Again, I can defend people who I want to defend, the same as you.
But I'm asking you the question. If you don't care that he says things about other people, why do you care what people say about him?
Because
if you're not friends with him, like, I'll defend my friends, and then I don't care what somebody would say about you, but I'll admit, because she's my friend, that's why I will defend my friend. But you're saying you don't talk to him, he doesn't tell you anything, you're not friends with him. So why do you care what anybody says about his looks?
Again, I think if you're there to discuss, which it's supposed to be a no hate group, and it's supposed to be we're getting to the real things, why are you mocking somebody's looks?
A
Actually,
few
Sheila,
comments about his looks are not the worst thing, and that's not hate. I mean, we've
No.
all been on the internet long enough to know what hate looks like. Somebody just making some comment about his looks or his wrinkly shirt or what the hell ever they say, that's not hate. Come on. And you feel compelled. You can't just scroll past that like, oh, whatever. So they think he looks like this, whatever. You feel the need to jump in and defend him.
Yeah, because it's a public group and anybody can watch it.
Well, he does lives that are very public, mocking other people, mocking their age, how they look, how they dress. Lex Kalia. I mean, there's been so many, but that one stands out to me because he was brutal to her. You know, she had braces. He was talking about her green teeth and stuff stuck in her braces, which wasn't true. He was brutal.
He didn't say that. She had green braces.
No, he did. He did.
it was
Again,
He
you're
was-
one person and we're many people. There were many channels that made many videos about his thing. So our recollection collectively, I think you would have to admit, is probably a lot better than your single recollection. So we're not lying. And, you know, if we had time, if you have a list of things you want us to prove that we're saying that could be misinformation, send Lizzie the list and I'm sure we'll be able to dig up the proof because that's what the channels have been doing for 5 years. So what I'm saying again is you can't just scroll past a comment about his looks, but it's okay for him to do that. And you consider that hate. So what he's doing on a public platform, talking about other people's looks and all of that, then that would be considered hate in your opinion, correct?
Yes, because it's supposed to be a public, as people keep saying, what's she doing here? It's a public Facebook group where anybody can go in and say their point of view. I was trying to point out it's not
they can say their point of view.
Yeah,
That's-
exactly.
That's
They can say their
the
point of
difference.
view, but that, as I say, when you go and then start calling me names, it's not good.
So
I don't
answer
agree with name calling,
please.
and we don't try and allow any of that. But the point is, when I opened that group, I knew I didn't have time to look after it, and Shirley and Carrie agreed to come and help me. And I said, I don't want any other posts. I want to just use it as an exposing AD thing. But they were helping, and what happens is that we do moderate the initial threads that come on. But Facebook and the way it works, especially with the stupid replies, I hate them. Anybody can say anything and it's time consuming. And I don't agree.
It is. I actually monitor a group for my daughter at some time, and it is time consuming.
It's horrible. And Shirley and Carrie are both so busy. And I myself have admitted that just lately, although we monitor what actually goes on there, I cannot spend time monitoring all the threads. And I'm hoping that if there's any members of No Hate here, that you do keep that in mind and keep it so that, and understand that I don't always, you know, in a similar way to what Sheila was just saying, I don't always know what's going on.
Yeah, and for the most part, I think the group is pretty good. Sometimes people will point out something. Sometimes Facebook flags something. And
again, I don't even know why you're still going, because he's not on YouTube anymore.
Okay, we're not diverting. I want to go back. I want an answer to my question. If the comments about his looks are considered hate in the Facebook group, will you admit that the crap that he says about people and their looks and their lifestyles is hate just the same, since he is also on a public platform?
He is entitled to say, I do
not. So aren't the people in No Hate entitled to their opinion too then?
Well, no, not when they're going into it on a public platform, which is actually supposed to be about no hate.
Calling someone old or about their messy hair or that he looks drunk is not hate, Sheila. It's not hate. And you know that. It's just something that you don't want to hear. So is what he says about other people hate? Do you consider that hate? I'm not talking about where it's done, whether it's on YouTube or it's in a Facebook group called No Hate. I'm talking about the comments themselves. If what is said about him is considered hateful, isn't what he says considered hateful?
Again,
It's the same.
It's all down to interpretation.
It's a yes or no. It's a yes or no.
It's not a yes or no.
Yes, it is. He said Lux Calia's teeth were green. He mocked her voice, going, critique, critique, critique. He did that. Somebody over in the Facebook group says he looks drunk, or he's an old man, or he looks horrible tonight. He looks pale. If that's hate, isn't what he did to Lux Calia hate?
Again, Lex.
We don't do hate.
Lex lost her. Yeah, exactly. Don't do hate. Lex lost her channel because he asked her 3 times.
I didn't ask that question. I'm asking about him mocking her looks. Please, please just answer the question. I'm not talking about her channel, why it was taken down. I'm asking about her looks and the things he said. Wouldn't that be considered hate?
It's not hate.
Okay, then anything somebody makes a comment about his hair, his wrinkled shirt, his shirt looks like an old lady shirt, none of that is hate either, because it's just their opinion of what they're seeing on a public platform. We're done. Okay, sorry, I'll go back on mute, Lizzie, move along.
Oh, okay, I'm going to just play this. It's self-explanatory.
You old witch. Trying to use chicken as well. Witch. No hate.
Good to see.
It kind of made me laugh when I had that. But
It's
is
coming
the
up
other
to
thing.
Halloween. You need to get your broomstick out.
Yeah, no, that was an actual barbecue that we had, and I had that picture, and I searched everywhere to try and find it because it was so apt. But you know, this is just one example.
Honestly, regardless of what that mad Lizzie says, I haven't got 700 patrons paying me £10 a month. Honestly, regardless of what that mad Lizzie says, I haven't got 700 patrons paying me £10 a month. I haven't. Look, there's only 20 of you here. I'm not going to tell you how many I got, but obviously it's nowhere near 700, is it? She went, so 700 by £10 times by 12, he's a millionaire. Stupid old woman.
Kind of nice, eh?
Do you consider that hate?
No.
Him calling her a stupid old woman?
No.
Okay, so the next time that there's a comment in the Facebook group calling him a stupid old man, you better not respond.
Oh, so I can just read it and get out, shall I?
Yeah, just keep moving along. Just keep moving along. That's what we have to do when he says crap like that about any of us, because we're all blocked on his channel. We have no way to respond. I can't go and defend Lizzie like you're trying to defend him. I can't do that. Nobody can do that because we're all blocked. So
yeah, no hate. I've allowed you there. I've allowed you to stay, despite several people, no names mentioned, who don't agree with me keeping you there. But I think it's important. I think you have a voice, and that's why when there was a few times you were sending gifts, and it's important to. Although I understand that you had issues with your eyes, the gifts were very frustrating and very aggravating for people to see.
I'm sorry, I use gifs all the time. It's how I communicate because I can't type.
Yeah, but they were like I say, you're welcome to be in there, but as I've mentioned several times, please don't blindly defend. You're in there so that if we say something that you disagree with, I'm asking you to please, in some form, even if you get somebody else to speak on your behalf or whatever, to confront us and say, listen, I disagree with that. We're unlike with him, where he calls me all these names, which I couldn't give two hoots about. we are allowing you and others to have your say. He doesn't allow us that. He never has. He just blocks us willy-nilly, or
again, it's if you go in the chat and you're recognized and you say something, it's down to everybody to get you out.
Yeah. So
that's what you do. That's how you run a channel.
So why don't we do that?
I don't know. There's some vile things that have been said. He milked the Rousseau family.
Why don't we block you and others?
Because you want it out there. You want more people to talk about it and know it.
No, absolutely not. I'm talking about you, or if Kako wanted to join in, or any of the mods, you're all welcome. I try, and I'm sure you'll agree that I try and make sure that you are treated with respect. I can't keep a constant.
I think everybody should treat everybody with respect, whether you agree or disagree with them.
Absolutely.
I know that people here don't like Alan, and I think because of his background and also being a poker player, he's rubbed people up the wrong way. Again,
no, it's what he's done. I'm sorry, Sheila. This is what I was saying about you have no knowledge about so much. And so all of the things that we are upset with him about, you've probably not taken in or come into contact with, because I've seen what he has done. And for him to affect me enough to want to expose him for what he's done, and how he's treated people, it's disgusting. Well, and this has got nothing to do with just because he's off YouTube. I didn't come on here to try and get him off YouTube, although he's gone. But everything that I've seen that is wrong, and the money part of it, you go
on and on about the money. Again.
Okay, can I just, Sheila, 2 years ago, I posted a graphic. I'd worked out approximately what he'd earned in Patreon, this, that, and the other. And I posted that graphic 2 years ago. Just recently, he turned around and called me a liar. Now, I've told you, one thing I do not tolerate is liars or somebody calling me a liar. So I would never have visited again that money. But once he called me a liar, no, it's up to me to prove myself that I am not a liar. And he instigated that. If he hadn't have called me a liar, I wouldn't have spent all the time I've done confirming my things. So yeah, money is important because it's confirming that I am not a liar in what I'm saying.
You're not a liar, but you're misinterpreting the facts.
No.
Do not add up.
No.
Facts do not add up. You're saying how many subs he had, but not all of them were paying that amount of money.
No, a lot were paying $20. Some were paying $50.
But you can't prove it. It's not proved.
He can prove it. He wouldn't. No, you can see there is absolute sheer logic. The logic.
Again, he can earn. Good luck to him for earning money.
Not if he's that's correct, but if he's lying to earn it, that's the problem.
Yes, that's the issue.
That has nothing to do with earning money. We have all said that so many times. This is also what's frustrating to a lot of us. We've all said that. And you guys seem to think that we're trying to, deprive him of earning money. That's what YouTube is for, people to make money. Knock yourself out. But don't lie or con people to get the money. And you're going to say he doesn't do that. And what we're saying is there are thousands of videos out there made across multiple channels for the past 5 years using his own words to prove he's lied and conned people. That's what we're saying. And if you don't know anything about that because you weren't around or you don't watch those videos, that's fine. But then maybe not come in so hot trying to defend him and what he does based on the little bit of knowledge. Like I said, collectively, this isn't an insult to you, but collectively, We have a lot more knowledge because there's many of us. So maybe instead of trying to think of how to listen to what's being said. And as far as Lizzie, I'm going to jump back really quick. As far as Lizzie with the Patreon, maybe you weren't around back then, but back in the day, his Patreon levels were shown. You could see he had, and I'm just going to throw a number out because I don't remember, 500 $5 slots, and you could see that 10 were left open. So that gave you a pretty good idea of how many people were in each one of those payment tiers.
It gives you an idea. You can't see it all. It's not facts.
No, but if we know that there's 200 slots at the $5 tier and there's 5 available, it's pretty basic math that he's got 195 taken at $5, right? So back then we could do that.
Know how Patreons work. You put
I do. I actually do know how Patreon works.
Okay, well then you'll know that you can put whatever amount that you like and how many that you want in that particular tier. It's down to
correct.
The reason he went up and just went to the £10 ones was to stop people coming in as trolls.
Okay, so do you know the date he went up to $10?
I can't remember.
So nobody who joined after that date could pay, except once or twice he had a little dollar promotion or whatever support. But the date that he took it, well, let me just go back here because I do want to give us a break, and I also want to thank Sheila for being here and everybody else who's here and I haven't seen. But I want to go very quickly to just give an outlook so that you can get an idea of how.
Can I just answer something in chat? Loopy Lou, why should he pay his tax? Well, he does pay his tax. He's paid his tax. He doesn't. If you owe the tax man in the UK money, you can end up in jail. And he doesn't pay his tax. So
you're assuming he pays his tax because he's not in jail, because according to you, he doesn't tell you anything. So how do you know for a fact he's paying his taxes? Just because he's not in jail? Is that your assumption?
Because the tax man isn't on his back. The tax man,
again, how do you know? How do you know that he's not getting calls and letters every other day all week long? How do you know this if he doesn't tell you anything?
I didn't say he doesn't tell me. I'm not in direct communication. I'm not.
You said that earlier. He doesn't tell you anything. That was your answer to several things that Lizzie questioned you about, and you said you didn't know. He doesn't tell you anything. You don't talk to him like that.
Okay. I don't talk to him like that.
So he does tell you that he has no tax liability or obligation. He has told you that.
You might say that about anybody. Whether tax business is private.
Right.
Okay, I kind of get it there, and I do want to close down. But before I do, and I know Sheila didn't really want to visit the money, but this is important to me. I'm not going to be doing the video or anything. I will be doing a live to check on that video and explain it all. But I just very quickly want to point out the timeline of the payments towards Patreon. Now, this doesn't include his Super Chat membership, PayPal.
I know, Lizzie. You can put anything up there to work out what you think it is.
No,
it's all speculation.
Sheila, please listen to me here. This is logic. It's not speculation. It is logic, because I have saved every single screenshot in 5 years. Yeah, I'm a bit loopy, but you know what? I can prove everything I say. And that's one thing that he doesn't realize. He thinks because right now he's not making much money and he's closed up so we can't see how many patrons he's got.
Again, if he made that money, it was a couple of years ago and things have moved on.
Please allow me to explain that
it's your channel.
He doesn't know, and you don't know, that I have everything to back up every month. I can tell you exactly how many patrons. Well, to a degree until 1,000. After 1,000, you can't guess. But basically, when he started in he had 3 in January the 12th, I believe, of 2018. His Patreon was 3, and he got $7. He then on the 21st, he took off the dollar one and made it 2 that was the limited. That went right through to December, where he had 500 patrons. At that time, he admitted that he only allowed 100 of the $1 and $2 ones. He limited $100 and $2. So $5 in January the 7th, I believe. So he could not have anybody join him after January the 7th of 2020 to pay less than $5. Then a few months later, in June the 30th of 2020, he upped it to $10. So nobody since June 2020, nobody has been allowed in without paying at least $10, if not more, apart from the occasional sales. They're nothing, just, a few for one night, maybe. So everybody that has paid since June the 30th of 2020 until when he finished there, well, no, I mean, even now he's still got Patreon, has paid $10. We know and have proof that he used to lose about 80 every month, and then he'd gain them back. So apart from what actually went up and was built up, a lot of them went down, and all those new people that came in had to pay the $10 plus the added ones. There is, for a year, as I pointed out to you, the $100, the $1,000 patrons from September of 2020 until September of 2021. And his Patreon count was 1,000. Prior to that, in the August of 2020, he had 970. And in September, October of 2021, it went down to 940, something like that. But during that 1 year, he was over 1,000. And he came on February the 24th, 2021, and claimed he had 2,000 patrons. I didn't believe him because I just guessed at 1,500. But my recent things, I've kept it at the 1,000. So in reality, he's getting a lot more. He had a lot more. And overall, I stand by those figures whatsoever. Now, keep in mind, he does pay the 30% from that, or whatever it is. I don't know if it varies. Maybe it's not 30%. I'm just listening because you said it. I should actually check.
Yeah, you can.
I need to check. But there, if you can believe that from the last 3 years, every single person plus the 80 each month that he lost have all paid $10. How you can believe that what he says is the majority of his patrons are $1? No, absolutely not.
He didn't tell me that.
No.
Again, when I joined, and this was 19.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you're still on the $1.
I've said again, that's what you stay with. You stay on what you join with.
Yeah, but 80 were leaving every month, and a lot of those were the $5 and $2 and $1, because at that point he didn't have the $10. But anyway, just so you know, everything I did was logic. You have to take logic into consideration. I've kept it minimum, so that covers all the dollars, because when you really understand, and I have everything to prove. I've got over 1,000 screenshots of his Patreon information. So no, this isn't speculation. This isn't social blade. This isn't my guess. This is logic. pure logic with a little bit of estimation involved, but very little. So I just needed to say that for anybody who wants to question about there being so many for $1. No, he stopped the dollars at 100 each for the $1 and $2. So he limited to 100 each. So no, and a lot of people still have it maybe, but a lot moved on. But anyway, Sheila, I want to thank you.
Lizzie,
yeah.
Did you didn't want to do any questions from the chat?
If
they're going on about his tax situation.
Well, there's other questions that were early on that I was taking notes of that don't have anything to do with this tax stuff.
Okay. If I don't mind, I just didn't want to
the tax situation in the UK is that you pay it's not like the US. You're individually taxed and you tax beforehand. Again, if he does owe the tax man, that's down to him.
Okay.
That's apart from the company thing, right?
But the company thing, again, I've actually spoken to somebody that was in the business with him, not directly in the business, but he actually was part of he's not a very good businessman.
He's hopeless. Because he's kind of clever, because every time he got a new place, he did it for less than the year, so that he didn't have to produce for the taxes. He started in May of, I've forgotten what year, but he got rid of it by March of the following year, because by then he would have had to have claimed on the taxes and things like that. So yeah, he's got clever. He knows what he's doing in some respect. But oh golly, I think there's somebody trying to get me. Can you hang on a sec? I've got somebody at the door.
Yeah, just make sure to go on mute.
Yeah, it might be Alan.
No.
Okay, so I'll ask you, one of the questions from Mike was a lot earlier about the Harley Dilly Memorial.
Yeah.
So he claimed that he was invited to go there and speak.
No, he was invited as part of the community, and he actually said it in the background. He spoke in the background to somebody that was there.
Okay, so that's not correct. What he said, and again, we can, if you would like, after this, we can make a list and show you videos. What he actually said. Okay, then your recollection seems to be not the same. Was that he was invited by the family to speak?
No, it doesn't say the family. He'd actually spoken to his. He
spoke to a sub that was going there, is what it was. We know what it was.
Yeah.
And but that's not what he said. But you're trying to say that your recollection of that is different, correct?
That's what it was.
No, that's not what it was. I mean, you can state that that's what you remember it being, but if you're going to state it as a fact, I'm going to dispute it, because that's not what my recollection was. He said, so Mike's in the chat. He said he spoke on stage, which we all know that didn't happen.
No, he didn't speak on stage. I
know
that.
But again, and Mike, I mean, I don't think that there's a whole lot of people. You can call a whole lot of us a whole lot of names that we're this, we're obsessed.
I don't call people names.
Okay, I don't mean specifically you. I just mean in general. But Mike being an ex-mod that was with him from the beginning, I think what he says actually carries a lot of weight because he was there. So, and Mike also writes up the things, as you know, in No Hate. So he's got a pretty good memory. So he says that he said that he spoke on stage. We know that that wasn't true. But again, when new people were coming to his channel, they don't know any different. And that's why there were videos made to dispute that, you know, if people like, he's lying to you guys, right? He's not as important as he says he is. But again, I'm trying to ask your recollection is he said something different.
Again, I didn't hear it like that. So
Okay. Okay.
you can actually see from the video, they were clearing up in the background.
Right.
So it was after the event.
Again, we know this, but we also heard him lying to his subs, primarily the newer ones that didn't know any different. So another question was, what is your opinion about him accusing an innocent person of murder, paying to have the murder done? And we can dispute.
Who are we talking about? Are we talking about NK?
And the Ruseks and Nicole Atkinson.
No, he has never, ever accused them.
Yes, he has.
No,
He's accused Frankie of being there. He's accused Nicole Atkinson and Sandra Rusek of being in cahoots together to cover up the murder. Now, maybe you weren't around back then, but these are things that he has said.
Again, it's down to interpretation. I've seen 10 times worse than that. I've seen people saying that she's not dead, this happened, that it's how people discuss things.
Okay, when words come out of somebody's mouth, tell me if you agree with this. When words come out of somebody's mouth as a statement, there's not a whole lot of interpretation to it. If he says
there is interpretation to it, how you see it at that particular time.
So if he were to say that, in his opinion, Frankie Rusek was in Colorado when the murders happened, what interpretation would you take from that?
I never seen that. I don't know nothing about that.
Okay, that doesn't change whether you can answer the question. If you heard, whether it was AD or the guy at the grocery store say that, what interpretation would you take from that?
I'd say that was ridiculous because he doesn't like flying. So,
okay. So that goes back to a lot of the things that he has said. Again, the Sandra Rusek, he's questioned why Nicole called Sandra Rusek so quickly. They must have been in on it or knew something about it. He's
no, hang on. What he actually said was, it's a very strange thing to do if you think your daughter's in trouble. I am a nurse, actually. Sorry, I was just watching the chat. It's to say, it's like everything. It's all down to interpretation. Again, at that particular time, he was questioning how that if I've got a daughter, and I would have been on that plane, and I would have been there. That's all he was saying. That's not what happened.
That's what he has said recently. I'm not talking about recently. I'm talking about what he said 4 years ago. And I'm telling you what he said. And I know you're saying you can't truly speak on it because you weren't there at that time. And I understand that. But that goes back to the general question is, sometimes when people make comments, especially in the Facebook group, they're not basing it off of stuff he has said within the past 2 years. They're basing it off of stuff he has said 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, and you coming in and defending based on the information you have, which is not all of the correct information.
Because even going back to the Lizzie posting things to say that actually he changed his mind. He thought the girls were murdered before, and he changed his mind. That's what people do when you find out other bits of information.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I 100% agree with that, except for, you should know by now, AD doesn't ever make a statement once or twice here and there. When we say he went hard, we're talking about months and months, and he was doing 2 lives a day sometimes back then. Every live, he was talking about stuff. He was showing pictures of a woman on a beach, claiming that that's possibly okay.
Sorry, Shirley.
Yes.
You're fading in and out.
Oh, I'm sorry. He showed a picture of a woman on the beach that one of his subs sent him. He showed a woman walking her dog that one of his subs sent him. All speculating, could this be NK? When in reality, it wasn't. And he knew damn well. I mean, you didn't even have to zoom in very hard onto the pictures to realize. But he's doing all this. He doxed an address of an apartment, claiming that he just got this information that this was NK's new address. He literally said it on his live, and he had some really bad things said in his chat by some of his subs, which of course, where we come up with, he can be very dangerous because he had no inside information on where NK lives. So some innocent person, for all we know, got some knocks on the door by some loons because AD gave out an address, right? So again, a lot of times when we're saying stuff, it's based off of stuff that we know that he has done repeatedly in the past. And yes, he's allowed to change his mind.
That's how he's doing it. It was his channel, but it's gone. It's finished. Just leave people alone. Stay in your own boxes and get on with what you like. You know.
Well, I agree to a certain extent for that. But the fact is, there is still value for
and
people.
Also, somebody's put on there that he put NK in.
Yes, he definitely did. For at least,
if she's still out there, if she's under her correct line, she could sue him, couldn't she? Again, I've told Alan before, the only person that has any legal requires to sue him is her. But she's never said he killed anybody. He said she was there, and he did.
He did back then. He said, and oh geez, you guys in the chat, you can correct me. Chris supposedly killed Shanann, and he flat out said NK killed the girls. In my opinion, he would always end everything with "in my opinion," you know, which is what it is. But he did. He flat out, again, maybe you weren't around back then. He was a lot bolder back then, and he was a dangerous person. And just because he may have
he's not dangerous now, is it? He's gone.
Well, we don't know that. Do we know that? Do we know he's not? I don't watch him on Rumble, so I have no idea what the hell he's saying over there. Do I know he's not dangerous over there?
How is it dangerous to you? If it's dangerous to one particular person,
how is it dangerous to me? When he asked his chat across 3 or 4 different lives to go find information about me, to find out my kids' names, to find out where I work, he wanted my address. How is it? So you asked the question, I'm answering. That's how it's dangerous to me. There's the answer to that. I'm sorry, what?
I've not seen any of that.
Okay, but I'm telling you it happened. So either you don't believe me, or you don't believe Lizzie, because Lizzie's the one that took a lot of the clips that I saw it from. So let's just assume, for the sake of
if you're persistently going on and on a bit, you've actually got.
I'm not. I am not.
I'm not saying you specifically,
but I am talking about me specifically because you asked me, how am I in danger? I answered your question. So let's stick with me for right now, and then we can talk about the broader picture. So what do you think about him saying those things to his chat several different lives about me specifically, when in reality I'm not a channel. I've never been a creator. I've never made videos. I just come on lives like Lizzie's. So why, first off, why would you think he would decide to come after me? Did he just run out of shit because Martin and Helen were gone? And regardless, that's kind of a rhetorical question. Do you think what he did, if you give me the benefit of the doubt that what I'm saying is true, is that okay?
I don't think anybody would like that to go for anybody online. I don't say.
Correct. Now, I am just me, somebody that doesn't like him. So is it too much of a stretch of imagination that back before you joined his channel, that how he went for somebody like NK would have been 10 times harder than what he went for me?
Again, he's not the only one. There are 4 or 5 new channels that have started up, are going down the same line. They don't paste lives, but they just putting things out, and they're just saying that she should have been spoken to. She should have been, there was no quote court case.
Okay, all of that is fine and dandy. And if he wants to think that, and there are plenty of people that think that, I'm talking about the things that he said and did, going after somebody that the police have considered innocent. He didn't just say, in my opinion, I think they should have done this. That's not all. If he had, that's all he had said, that would have been fine. And I don't, especially since his channel's gone, you can't go back and look at the videos. Every live he did for years was nothing but her. He even used a doctor Photoshop picture to try to show that there was a woman standing in the driveway with a ponytail. Do you consider that ethical?
Again, it's not my channel, it's Alan's channel.
You're right, but you support him. If you were to ask me about something Lizzie did, and you were to ask me if I think that something she's showing that you think is doctored or fake, and ask me my opinion of it, I can still give you my opinion. It doesn't have to be my channel to have an opinion of it. I'm asking, how is your feelings about that?
My feelings are my own business.
Okay. So again, we go back to a lot of times your comments in the Facebook group are based off of very limited information, and you wonder why.
It's just that sometimes I go in there and I'm obviously reading things. I quite like Lizzie, and I know from going back to the Madeleine McCann things and what have you, I quite respect an awful lot you do. But to be honest, it's like children. You'd think you were talking to teenagers in there and not grown people or grown-ups.
And that's your opinion. There was a point in time a few years ago, I was in his Facebook group, and I can tell you, there was not a whole lot of nice things being said over there either. And it definitely wasn't moderated near as much as Lizzie's group is. And I'm not just saying that because I'm defending Lizzie. I'm telling you the truth. I read a lot of stuff in that Facebook group that was pretty disgusting. Talking about the Ruseks, talking about NK, talking about certain people. At the time, it was mostly Martin Dehan. Pretty repulsive stuff. And it wasn't moderated.
Because if you're getting channels that are on there and they're just putting his title up, and they were going with that to get all these people to go, yes, we hate him. Yes, he's a tax fraud. Yes, he goes after young girls. Yes, he's a P, and all this. It's rubbish.
Well, that's the most recent stuff. I'm talking about before. I don't know very many people. And again, you can't say that any of that peace stuff is in Lizzie's group because we do moderate for that stuff.
I know.
That's a separate group of people who believe that. The majority of us, we don't subscribe to that narrative, and we don't.
When you start flinging mud, that's what happens.
Well, but again, just like how you're not responsible for what AD does, everybody else on YouTube is not responsible for what one creator says and what his subs say. We're not all responsible for that. There's a reason we haven't talked about that, because that's not what we're about. So I would like that whole subject to just not even be brought up, because nobody has been talking about that. That's not something we talk about. We talk about the lies he told. Yes, he didn't like videos being made about him. But have you ever watched many of them back in the day?
Yeah, quite a few of them.
Okay, so then the majority of them, we call them the debunking videos. They weren't just crap thrown up saying he's this, he's the creators used clips of his own lives, the things he actually said. Now, again, I said this in the chat earlier, if he doesn't like those videos because his own words are being used, then maybe he shouldn't say those words. If he's changed his mind, he sees a video and that's not what he thinks anymore, then he can go on a live and he can say that. Yes, I did say that at one time, but I've come into more information and I've changed, but he doesn't do that. What about the time that he was mocking Martin Dehan when he had the stroke? Were you there for that?
No, I wasn't.
Have you heard about that?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Well,
I don't like Martin. I think he's disgusting. Why his whole power is getting Alan and attacking him all over YouTube and also everywhere else that he goes. I think it's disgusting. I think you shouldn't do that to anybody.
Well, again,
I'm not an ignoramus. Watch The Fake Detective.
that's your opinion of Martin, and you have a right to your opinion. But if
I don't interact with him.
You're talking about people criticizing AD on a personal level, and you feel the need to defend him and do all that. But again, this goes back to, he literally mocked the way that Martin, in his assumption, just like he did with Lex Calia, the way Martin was talking when the man had a stroke. And he did
that was horrible.
Yeah. Oh, yes, he did. He knew that. He knew that. And I'll say, even if he didn't, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Even if he didn't, once he became aware of it, he could have came on and apologized to Martin for that.
Well,
but
why should you apologize to somebody whose whole channel is mocking you all the time? Again, I understand that people can have different opinions and they don't like him. But, to go on and on and on and on and on and on, and 5 years later, they're still going on, and he's not even around, but they're still going to go on and on and on and on and on.
I'm still going on because it's nothing to do with YouTube.
Didn't say it was.
Well, so again.
No, I mean for me.
He doesn't necessarily owe Martin an apology if he doesn't feel like it. But this is going back to the examples of things that he has done. And because for me, and I'm sorry if I'm derailing this, Lizzie, you're here to talk, and you're not necessarily here to defend him. We're here to get your opinions on things that he has done. So that's why I'm bringing these things up. He did this to Martin. And I would like to know how you feel, because I know if Lizzie got on a live and did that about somebody, and then we found out that person was having a medical issue, that would be bad. And if Lizzie wanted to stand,
I would never do that. And I could pretend right now. No, I wouldn't even do that. It's that bad. It's that horrible.
Right. Regardless of what you feel about
it's
somebody.
Just how people are. People say things. People say things sometimes, and they don't.
No,
they don't realize.
It's far worse than what any of our subs have said or done or whatever. It's horrible. It's nasty, and he's done it.
Mm-hmm.
It was disgusting to watch. And
again, why do you watch things? If you don't like it, don't watch it. It's as simple as that. It's easy.
Because he's a liar and he's a con man. You have no idea.
Him.
Yes, you have no idea how many people have come to different channels. I've seen that back on all the channels, Martin's, JC's, Truth Be Told, I can't, all of them. There would eventually always be people that came in and said, I used to watch him until I found your channel, and now I can see what he's doing. Then we got people, and some of them came on certain people's lives. I can't remember if one was on Maureen's or not, but people would come on lives talking about how he took money from them. So we've heard these stories. So what we felt, and everybody... If you ask everybody, you'll get a different answer, but everybody's here for a different reason. But one of the things is he takes money from people deceptively. And all we're doing is making people aware. Now, if people want to still give their money once they know what he's doing, and they choose not to believe it, then that's on them. But there have been several people who have thanked a lot of these creators from saving them from handing over a whole lot of money. The book deal, the documentary, all this crap, the poker true crime tour. People were donating money to this crap thinking that it was real, and none of it was real.
And can I just add something? Do you recall when he was in Malta in 2019?
Yeah.
And do you remember him staying there an extra week?
I can't remember how long he was there for.
Yeah, he went for 2 weeks to the tournament. Didn't say anything about going to a tournament. At that time, he wasn't telling anybody where he was going. But I looked, and in Portugal, in Malta at that time, he went in October, the end of October. And I saw that on November the 1st to the 4th, there was another tournament. That was the following week after the other one. And I predicted... nobody else knew. This was when I was working on my own back in 2019. I wasn't in contact or in any groups or anything. And I predicted, I bet you he stays. Do you know what? I've got the video. Yeah, I'm staying another week, this, that, and the other. Do you know what he did? He phoned some of his subs. One of them we know. and he asked her for a lot of money, and she
Well, I hope
refused.
she didn't give it to him.
She didn't give it to him.
Well, there you go.
But we know that this is what he does. He pocket dials his fans,
I don't even
his
know
loyal.
what pocket dial is.
He pretends to not dial, that it was accidentally. Oh golly! Oh well, I've got you here. Do you have so and so? He wanted money for his car, his insurance, other stuff. Mike has a whole slew of stuff, but of course, Mike, very clever, is not telling us all until he needs to exactly what he knows. Good old
Again,
Mike.
if they know some people and he's done something illegal, he needs to stand up in the court, and that's where
It's not just about illegal. This is about moral stuff. We're talking that he's
everybody's
collecting-
everybody's morals is down to them, and how they conduct themselves when they get to being an adult is down to them.
Well, okay, Sheila, you know what? I can see as kind of Dr. Phil quoted in a sense, is that you have your opinion and you will say whatever it takes to defend it. And I can see that. And I have to, and I think a lot of us have to recognize that that's your prerogative to do that. Doesn't mean you're right. Doesn't mean that we're wrong, all right? But that's your prerogative.
Everybody's entitled to have an opinion.
Absolutely.
And think whatever they like of anybody and judge people.
Yeah.
But
And
you don't have to go out there and making channels about them and going on and on and on and on about it. It's been disgusting.
When I see some misdeeds done, which I've seen from the beginning of when I came over to this community, I chose to expose him. And everything that I post, none of it is ridiculing. Every single post that I put up is not a ridicule. It's not hate. It's this is what he's doing. Can you not see what he is lying about, how he's manipulating people, how he's putting a wall around a fort to keep everybody in? He won't let other people, doesn't want them going to other channels because they might learn something. He's manipulating people, and a lot of those people don't realize. They do not realize. And, it's up to them. Yeah. But a lot of what he's done, and I'm sure Shirley mentioned a few things while I was gone there, particularly about searching for NK. Then there was the time there was a gun.
Sorry, can I actually say, he's not a pimp. If you knew the terminology of what a pimp is, that's disgusting. So don't say.
But you do
like
agree that he had the source escort agency, right?
Yes. It's legal in the UK to run an escort agency. It's not to go to certain degrees with an escort agency.
Then why did he lie about
Why
it?
did he deny it?
That's the thing. Why does he deny this stuff? If it's all fine and dandy, just like the Google searches. If he's a grown man, he's allowed to do what he wants. Why did he lie? Why does he lie about this stuff?
Oh, very funny. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat. He can do whatever he likes. He's a grown-ass man. He's nothing to do with me. He's
right. No, he's not. He doesn't have a right to lie. When I have exposed that he had a source escort agency, and whether you agree or not, the fact is he had it there as men and women, boys and girls, for your pleasure.
I know,
now,
but hang on a minute.
No.
Can I just hang on a minute? Can I say that in particular parts of the country, boys and girls is a terminology. I don't know where Alan was born. I don't know where he comes up from. But as I say, in London, everybody's called boys and girls. It's just.
But he said men, women, boys, and girls. If he had just said boys and girls, you're right. That could be, construed many different ways. But he specifically said men, women, boys, and girls. That differentiates. For your pleasure. That differentiates boys and girls from men and women because he specifically stated that.
Again, he never came up to be running. It was just a joke on the internet.
No, it wasn't. I'm coming.
He doesn't live in
somewhere, but I'm coming back.
Okay, he doesn't live in Western Supermare.
Okay, you say it's a joke. That he did come out and say that after about his fifth excuse. Again, it goes to he lies, just like the Google searches. He had some excuse. First he was hacked, and then it was no, it really was him. He was doing research on Ted Bundy, even though the internet wasn't around back then when Ted Bundy was around. I mean, if everything is on the up and up,
you can do loads of search on Ted Bundy.
Why would he lie if it's all on the up and up? If that sauce thing was just a joke, why wouldn't that have been his first reaction, to say, I don't even know what that is. I don't have anything to do with it. And then it was, oh yeah, that was created a long time ago because I was going to do this business and I was practicing making a Facebook page. And then it became something else. If it was all on the up and up, would you lie if somebody asked you a direct question and you had a legitimate answer for it? Would you lie?
No, I
Would
don't
it take
lie.
you 9 different times before you finally came around to the truth? See, right there. Now, if somebody does that to you, if I were to do that, Lizzie were to do that, anybody in the chat, if they were to do that, give you 9 excuses before they finally actually admitted to something, wouldn't you start thinking that their credibility is pretty full of holes?
No.
No? So people can lie to you indefinitely and you're okay with that, and their credibility still is strong in your eyes?
Yeah, because they don't lie about everything. People lie, again, on average, people lie 7 to 8 times a day.
We're not talking about those lies, Sheila, but you know what? We recognize.
I'm sorry, I really have got to go to the toilet. I do apologize.
Yeah. And I recognize that it's your prerogative.
Let her go to the bathroom. Do you want to go to the bath? You want to take a break and come back? Because I do have a few more questions.
Okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Or toilet.
Well, just go on mute. Just I don't know how close your bathroom is. I'm just saying. I mean, because we all actually heard AD go to the bathroom once because he didn't go on mute.
Yeah,
so.
I know. I was there.
Yeah. So.
Okay. And thanks, Shirley. I cannot believe my Sam, my person I share with, she's gone to the UK. I have control of her keys for a car, and some chap just came along and wants to move her car because he's putting a big trailer there. And I'm saying, no, I can't do that.
No.
And we had to get hold of the landlord, who's in turn told her in England that so-and-so, but no, so I still have keys and the car hasn't been moved and I have no idea. And then another chap comes along because he wants this and that and the other. I'm like, I'm doing a live. Please leave me alone.
Leave me alone. So I do have it was Betsy. Oh, and I didn't write down. Somebody else asked pretty much the same question. So I have that one about the letters. I have watching The Fake Detective about DA Rourke. Is there anything else, you guys? I've been trying to keep an eye on chat, but when Lizzie went away, I was.
Oh golly, I wish I'd have got it together. I was in the middle of doing it and I don't think I finished it. But what I was doing, I was totally disgusted. Have you discussed about Mr. Rourke and Kim?
Kim?
Kim, his wife.
No, we haven't talked about Rourke at all. There was a question about Rourke and bribery that is I'm going to ask.
No, what he has done this week was just awful. And he, for the first time, it was on Patreon. And he was being really, really rude and condescending because D.A. Rourke, who has many awards, he talks about him as though he's a nothing. And his wife, Kim, who has Patreon, along with her friend, another survivor of, they were both assaulted, and she is the wife now. Apparently D.A. Rourke got him 25 years, I think, for the chap who did it. She is, well, AD is talking about her like, oh yeah, she's got Patreon, yeah. They need to, what was it he was saying, that they are, they're no good, or I can't remember his words, maybe somebody remembers the words, but he's basically condescending, saying, how are they doing it, she shouldn't be there, whatever. But in actual fact, I wish I'd have actually done the thing here, because hang on, I'm going to find this easily because of the color.
Yeah, I can't speak about any of that.
It's just disgusting the way he was talking about her, as if she was using Mr. Rourke, and
again, there's an awful lot behind Mr. Rourke that you don't know.
Can I just find this, that he was.
While you're finding that, can I ask her that other question?
Okay.
Well, I know, because I know it's going to take you a minute to find that. I just want to ask this before we go off. So I'm pretty sure, because this is not from the very beginning, so I'm pretty sure you were around back then, about him accusing the DA Rourke taking bribes from Anadarko and Jim and Chris Watts' workmates of murder, and also half of Colorado, which is, that kind of goes along with how they're having a block party at 5:30 in the morning out on the road. So what did you think of that?
Can you just answer the question? What are you talking about? He didn't accuse Rourke of anything. It's just that it's funny.
He did.
That money appeared. They gave a big donation within a couple of days of the murder.
Who gave a big donation?
The company that is owned by Anadarko.
And gave a donation to who?
Rourke.
You can't give donations to public figures in the United States.
You can is that for re-election?
Oh, they can donate to a re-election campaign.
Yeah, that's what he did. That's what they did.
Well, is it possible that, do we know that maybe Anadarko is a supporter of DA Rourke, and every time he's gone up for re-election, they gave money to his campaign?
You can't, I don't know.
You're right, you don't. But AD framed it that he was taking, no, he didn't frame it. He flat out said that DA Rourke, in my opinion, was taking bribes to cover up and to protect Nicole Kessinger, is exactly what he said. And people,
when you use the expression "in my opinion," it's your opinion.
Okay, so you had said earlier, in your opinion, it's never okay to accuse anybody of a crime or murder, and I think you said something else, without proof. Well, yeah. Taking bribes to cover up and protect what AD had been saying for a year and a half was a murder suspect, that would be accusing him of a crime, because if he did do that, that is a crime. And he had no facts to base that up. So now you're saying that as long as you say, in my opinion, you don't. So if I wanted to go out there and say that AD was a certain P word, or AD was a murder, in my opinion, that would be perfectly fine.
No.
No, it wouldn't be.
He didn't say it like that. He implied it was very strange that at that particular time, this money came into his account to run for election.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He said, in his opinion,
I really am sorry. I have got to go now because it's way past my bedtime and I've got to be up early in the. So
okay, I'll let Lizzie show you what she wants to show you.
No, it's just to do with Kim, his wife, and he's claiming that she shouldn't have been there because
again
with Rourke, apparently she does. I'll just show this so that you can see it. She switched her major to psychology.
Yeah, she is.
or because she wanted to be able to speak to others about the rape, because she was raped when she was younger. She went on, and AD is talking about her like she's a piece of nothing and doesn't know what she's doing, and she shouldn't be involved with anything to do with the Watts case. He shouldn't be saying anything to her. Earn a graduate degree in criminal justice and worked for many years as a victims advocate, first with the local police department and later with the district attorney's office. She has traveled the world. She and her friend are more than capable of making a much better podcast than AD could ever dream up. So for him to be so condescending was just pretty awful. The words he used, because Rumble is so bad. It really is bad. It's awful. You can't do anything on it. But this is the podcast, so that he was referring to. So anyway, okay, where am I?
I don't know where you are. I thought you.
I know. I'm totally lost myself. I've had people coming on me for everything. So if you need to get to bed, I really appreciate you being here.
I've got to get up first thing in the morning because I'm actually going, a dog.
A dog thingy.
Dog, yeah.
Okay. No, and I really appreciate it. And same with Shirley. If we're passionate,
I understand that people can't agree. I understand that 99% of people here don't like him, but that's their opinion. You don't have to go there.
I agree, and I think part of the problem, especially in the Facebook group, again, that's their opinions. But when you come in and you make a statement defending him and then won't follow it up with anything, that's what's frustrated a lot of people.
Yeah.
So just so you know, yeah.
I understand that, but I can't see the chat, and I told you, not on the video, but in the Facebook group, I can't see it. I'm also dyslexic, which I can actually prove to you that I'm dyslexic. And I say people were criticizing him for being dyslexic. Everybody's dyslexia is different. And it doesn't come with, you don't get a degree. What, you've got this, that, and the other, and that's how you behave. It's also his age, and that's how people were never, ever properly diagnosed at that age. So,
well, overall, there is lots of stuff which you seem to
no,
be okay with.
Alan has not told me to get off this live because I do what I want to do.
Yeah, and that's good. And I suspect that you don't take any stuff from him, and probably he knows that, and that's why he doesn't use you quite as much as he uses everybody else, because I believe he does. Excuse me.
I don't think he uses anybody. It's down to them.
Absolutely, he does. There's no question. He should be doing most of what there is himself. And he said himself on that clip that I just told you, or just played a little while ago, he said, Kaka has got so much to do, and I don't mean to give her so much, but it gives me time. I can work on the Annie thing. No, you shouldn't be doing the Annie thing. You should be doing everything that Kaka was doing for you. He admitted he wasn't doing all the stuff that Kaka was doing. He admitted to passing it to her, and he was working on the Annie thing. It gave him a chance to work on the Annie thing. So no.
Go and have a cigarette, Lizzie. You need a cigarette.
I wish. I will any second now. But no, I kind of knew that it wouldn't come to any resolve doing this, but I think, and I don't know because I wasn't watching chat. I think it's been fairly respectful. Hopefully although you might have felt attacked or whatever, it wasn't.
Again, they will keep going on and on about the tax man. how it works in the UK, if you owe taxes, you're given a certain amount of time to pay it. If you don't pay it within that time, you're fined, and they will get it out of the. You will never, ever, ever win with the tax man. They'll always get you.
Yeah.
They'll even get what's his name, the racing man. So
Yeah.
you never get away from the tax man. You always have to pay your taxes.
Well, but you know, on the same token, the people that were stating the stuff in the chat, that was their opinion of what their knowledge is. So it's all good.
Well, no, because again, there is that is the law, and that is what you do. You have to pay your taxes.
Well, we don't know that he isn't in trouble because of it. Just because he's not in jail at the moment doesn't mean that they're not contacting him. We don't know that. So that's their opinion based on.
I don't know that. You don't know that. That's his.
You're right. You're right. So that's their opinion based on the information they have. The same thing that you do.
Sorry, can I answer Sandy Blue? Yes, he has been banned from running a company, but that happens to loads of people. I actually got banned from running a company because my business went down. And
It's
that's
not
what
about
happened.
loads of people, though. This is the thing. Forget loads of people. Now the cat has just moved everything. Okay.
Yeah, he was prevented for a reason. We're not talking about you and whatever reason you can't, or the umpteen other people. We're talking about him and the reason he can't.
It's because he didn't keep his accounts, and they couldn't.
I know
prove
he didn't.
anything
He
because
didn't
he didn't keep accounts. But
Exactly.
he did make sure that for the past a couple of years or so before, that he only had a company for 11 months, because to keep it to 12 months means you're accountable to the tax man, and so they couldn't prove anything. But what they did was
I'm not interested. I really am not interested in what he's done and what.
But other people are, and that's their right to voice their opinion. Just like you're sitting here, you've been saying the whole time that AD has a right to voice his opinion, even if other people don't agree. Don't watch then. Don't watch. He doesn't have to watch. You don't have to be in the Facebook group. That way you won't see what other people think about him.
Well, do you know what? I won't go in there anymore then. You see, let's put it like that. I'll stay out there.
Okay,
Well, that's your
you do know that if you or anybody has something specific they would like to point out, then all of you are welcome to do that. I do not just ban people just for the sake of it.
Exactly.
If you've got a valid, if you don't bother coming in, that's fine. But if suddenly something crops up and you say, you know what, I need to let them know, or I need Lizzie to know this, or
Lizzie, you don't need to know anything about Alan. It's his life. Leave the person alone. Like I say, if anybody's attacked, if Cheryl thinks she's been attacked and got on there, you just say to people, just leave me alone. Like I've been telling Carol Cox or whatever her name is for ages, to just leave people alone. She goes,
Did you tell AD to leave Lizzie or myself or some of the other people that he's named? Did you ever tell him, hey, look, that's just kind of not cool, Alan? Maybe you shouldn't do that. You're feeling strongly enough to tell us to leave him alone. So obviously you do have a moral compass. So,
and keep in mind, I absolutely mean that had he not come and called me a liar, I would not have visited his income at all. But once he called me a liar 2 years after I did a graphic, that's when I said, no, he's not calling me a liar. I'm out to prove it. And that's why I did it. So
I'm
don't
not calling you a liar, Lizzie.
No, not you. No.
No, but he didn't say, he did call you a liar.
Yes, he did.
He did call you a liar.
He's called me a liar, flat out.
I know, because you're attacking his personality. And
no,
you know,
I'm not attacking his personality.
Lizzie's never done that. That would have been me or someone else, not Lizzie.
I don't do that. What I do is expose. And when he came back, I put out a thing claiming this is how much. 2 years ago, I put it out. Never, ever wanted to or spent time on justifying it. I knew some people didn't fully believe it, but it wasn't an issue. And then he came back to me a couple of months or so ago and called me a liar. And one thing I put that out and I can back it up. And I am not a liar, and I needed to justify for me. So he's the one who instigated me doing that income stuff. And I absolutely would not have touched it otherwise. So it's up to him. Now, you mentioned that I've told the lawyers. What I said was at the end of the video, if you dispute any of this, Alan, you can come to me. If you don't want to do it publicly or personally, you can contact the lawyers and let
You're
them
talking
know.
about the lawyers that are dealing with the court case that
Yeah.
is going, that
Yeah.
is not going on
You
or going on, or
you can, if he disagrees with any of my figures, he's welcome to be truthful with his figures to them, because if he disputes me and he's concerned about it, if he's not concerned about it, then, you know, they will know whether or not I'm right or wrong. But I haven't actually contacted them yet. But not only that, I do know that others would do that, and what else they do, that's not my up to me. But I have I stand behind my
Lizzie,
figures.
can I ask you a question? Why do you
Yes.
spend so much time and effort on this particular subject? Find something
What
else to do. You're very,
what do you
very
mean?
good. You're very good when you did the Maddie.
Yeah, and I can't wait to get back to it. But when you say this subject, which subject are you talking about?
Alan.
Oh, well, that's like I said, I'm not obsessed, but from the start, I've seen how he has lied, manipulated, he's greedy, and he has used people and hurt people. And I don't like to see that. So when he tells a lie, I will expose it and show him speaking that lie and exposing him for telling that lie. I do not like liars. I have a
No, I don't like
passion.
liars.
I have a
Don't like
passion
lies.
for the truth. And unfortunately, it seems that you haven't seen the hundreds and hundreds of lies he's told, but he has. And I have put them, what I can, into No Hate. This is just, in January, when he started to go downhill, he was really losing it. I mean, it was like 3 months and he didn't get one sub. So I really thought he was finished. So I went over to the Maddie community and started posting on there. And then all of a sudden, Nicola Bully came up and he was on a roll again. So I had to come back because it's just unbelievable to see what he has done.
90% of the stuff that you read online is made up, is lies.
No,
is
not
fictitious.
what I do. I don't care about other people. I just
But that's what's out there. That's
my
the world
stuff
we live in.
is the truth. It's the truth.
I'm not
Everything.
talking about you.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
talking
That's
about
good.
online. No,
Yeah.
I'm not talking. But as I say,
Online, yeah, it's possible. But everything, I stand behind everything that I put. Everything that I write, I will be corrected if I'm wrong. But I take my time. I'm careful. Like I say, with the Patreon, I would be easy to say, oh yeah, well, I think around that time he had 600 members and patrons, and
you think
no,
you only think.
no. I
You just
have
said it. You just said I only think.
I said I could. I have 1,000, over 1,000, 1,080, I think was the last time I checked, screenshots regarding his Patreon. So I know exactly to the day. I know exactly to the day, right the way through the members he had. So, and I know
Again,
the
I
date.
don't know why you're so obsessed with him having money. I don't understand it. And I know
On one hand, you're saying that I shouldn't guess. And on the other hand, when I'm telling you I don't guess because I have the proof, all of a sudden I'm obsessed. I shouldn't be doing that. No, I've done what I wanted to do. And that was to make sure that what I saw in his lies, his manipulation, his greed, his hurt, how he hurts everyone, I wanted to expose him. When he was violating everything, violating his terms, I wanted to expose it, and I did. And several other people did as well. Unfortunately, it was passed off. But that's not an obsession with him. That is a passion for the truth. And it passed my time. And because I like to have the truth is why I saved all those 1,080 screenshots regarding Patreon, probably hundreds more. But because I will only talk about what I know, I won't guess. So my Patreon figures are not a guess. They're just a slight kind of guess, but they're within a...
They're a guess. There you go. You just said it. You just said they're a guess. You either guess or you don't guess.
A slight guess, because I can only go minimum 1,000.
I really am sorry, ladies.
You've got to go. Okay, I understand. I will be doing a live regarding the Patreon, which I've been planning on doing. I let out the Patreon video, but I didn't do a live right then. So I will be going over that along with other things. So thanks very much, Sheila, and bye-bye. So now we're back, Shirley.
Back to me. I do have something I was in the middle of, but I do just want to say I didn't mean to derail your chat or anything, but I knew you weren't able to see. It was just very frustrating for a lot of people that she was not answering questions. So
and I think that is the whole point, and that's kind of what I figured, because that's why I put that Dr. Phil thing in, is that you cannot, when somebody has a thought about somebody, it's like a husband and wife. They may not get on, but you try and, or family, you try and put them down, and they'll just hang in there, and because they made a choice to believe. And so by showing them they're wrong, that's against them. It's not against him, it's against them. And that's why they hunker down, because they can't bear to think that they got it wrong. And so, as Dr. Phil says, they hunker down even more when they're questioned, because it's very personal to them. It's not about AD at that point, it's about them. So I kind of knew that that's how it would go. But I do respect Sheila for coming on here. Absolutely. She didn't have to. She offered. Whether or not she accomplished what she wanted, I really don't know. But I think it was, when I saw some of the comments just recently saying she's a fake and she is AD himself and that, I mean, no, I hate stuff like that.
I haven't seen those. I'm not saying they're not there, but I haven't been able to watch the chat.
No, I know you've been really busy.
And again, I know you and I disagree a lot of times about how to handle things, and that's what I love about you, because you handle things differently than me. But you know, she's saying things and she's not able, from our perspective, she's not able to actually back up anything other than it's just how I feel is basically what it boiled down to. And I did see a lot of people calling her a liar. Now, of course, nobody likes to be called a liar. You know that. You were called a liar. So what did you do, though? You came out and said, okay, you think I'm a liar. I'm going to show you that I'm not lying. I think it was just very frustrating. And maybe on her part, too. I have no idea. That she wouldn't give any examples. And again, and I don't know if she's still listening, but I said this when I first came up, her convoluted answers were, again, just basically word salad. She wouldn't answer the question. And just towards the end again, well, there's many people. There's all loads of people. We're not talking about the entire world. We're talking about one man. And if you don't have the answers, then say, I don't know. You know, this is the first I've heard this. When she was saying certain things I said, she said she had never heard. You know, to me, at least a response would be, this is the first I've heard that. So I can't tell you how I feel about it. I'll have to think about that because I've never heard that before. But her answer was just, I don't know anything about that. And that was very frustrating to a lot of people in the chat. So,
and I think it is. As I hit upon the fact that very often she'd say, oh, I don't know. The fact is, if the few things that we bring up and she doesn't know, that means there's a heck of a lot else that she doesn't know. So she's not understanding that we do know. And this is why we do what we do, because it's all the stuff that she doesn't know. You know, that I did point that out. But by the same token, I mean, I know that we disagree totally on how we think of people. And I had no, I would have worded it differently if I'd have put, well, we're able to let Sheila know the truth, and she can see the truth. No, I knew that was never going to happen.
Well, right. I mean, that's again why I said, and mostly I'm just saying this for you, Lizzie, because I feel like I didn't want to come in hot, but I came in a little hot.
I could tell you. I could tell you were holding back, which kind of made me laugh.
Yeah, I was very much holding back because
it was sitting on your hands.
Because I, you know, I've been watching the chat off and on, and I was still listening while I was doing other stuff, and it was just very frustrating, and I could see the chat getting frustrated. And if she didn't actually just answer some questions, none of this ambiguous bull crap that people, it probably could have turned ugly. I know I was getting a little on the line. I was waiting for, you know, like Jenny or JC to time me out because I was getting a little hot. So I thought, okay. Anyway, so that's why I was trying to tell her she's one person with one memory, or she does stop it, or she doesn't have memories of something. We are a lot of people. And if she really does want to defend him, then it would be in her best interest. Go out there and look at some of those videos, see his own words. That way, at least if you're trying to defend him, you have an informed opinion, because her opinion is not coming from information. It's coming off of just her perception, which is what I was trying to tell her.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know, the thing is, at the end of the day, it's very easy to consider what she would probably consider. I don't have time. I don't want to. And that's her prerogative. So, you know, there's nothing going to be changed. I didn't expect it to. I figured, golly, this is kind of a dodgy live to do. And I do, because I have such weird ideas compared to most other people. I did feel that maybe I would be under, not attack, but, you know, a lot of what I say, maybe not be everybody's kind of in agreement. But it's me. And everything I say is I'm right there where I am. I don't have, you know, agendas.
Well, I will say, and, you know, I'm not going to lie, it kind of hurts my tongue to say this, but I will give her credit because she did something AD hasn't done. You know, I did the same thing when Bubbles had gone on BAMs that day. At least she did something. I'm going to try not to criticize something that human person would never do. When in reality, he should be the one answering these. But again, for me, this wasn't so much about her answering questions for AD. It was her perception of the things, and that's what.
To understand. I wanted to understand why she feels the way she does, and I can tell from her answers. I can understand because I can see how she places it into a kind of a goldfish bowl kind of thing, you know, and it all works within this goldfish bowl. There's no, oh golly, yeah, that's that I really, you know, I think it's all within, and it's all, and that's her prerogative, and it's her right, and I don't hold that against her, you know. It's and
she stayed longer. She stayed longer than I thought she would.
Absolutely.
I was trying really hard. not to drive her off. I didn't want to do that to you. Can I just say something to the chat? I know the question and I really want, but you know, she had to go and then she left pretty abruptly. She had made a comment about he doesn't like flying. They wanted me to ask was that AD? I'm just telling you. And again, I was multitasking. So my perception of what she said, she was talking about Frankie doesn't like flying. But and my first thought when she said that was, how the hell do you know that? But I didn't. I let her talk on. So I don't know. So maybe that's something that she can, if she comes in no hate, maybe she can address that. Because they were wondering, did she mean AD because of all the trips he takes? So that kind of confused some people.
Well, that's been a long time without a cig break. Oh dear. Yeah.
So Betsy does say, I thought she meant him talking about Frankie. Yeah, I thought she meant Frankie too, but I don't know. That again, that's me not knowing the full answer. So there you go.
Well, Shirley, I haven't forgotten your name this time. Do you remember when you were doing a live with me and I couldn't remember your name?
Yeah. Yes, I did. And just for the record, I don't feel attacked by AD. I actually find it quite humorous. I don't feel worried at all. Otherwise, I wouldn't have, called him out on 2 separate lives and tried to go into his chat at the time. I was going to correct her when she said that, but I appreciate her saying, that's not okay for anybody to feel that way, but I don't feel that way. I mean, what did Sandy Blue say? You're about as scary as a bowl of ice cream or something like that. That's kind of how I feel about AD. He's not very scary.
Yes, I said, what was it? I was trying to be really,
you were talking about giving somebody the Lizzie talk, and she's like,
right. Yeah,
I love you, Lizzie, but I just have to say, you're about as scary as it was a bowl of ice cream or an ice cream cone or something like that. It was so funny.
I've had my moments, but no, I haven't seen chat basically at all, so I have no idea. Thank you to any mods that are helping. I know Jen was helping.
Then the chat. I want to thank the chat too, because for the most part, considering your guest and the topic, it was, for the most part, people were very well behaved. They were very,
thank you so much.
They were pretty careful with their words. They phrased things in ways that I personally, some of them that I know, would not have phrased it that way in somebody else's live, but because it's this live, they were very respectful. Of course, there was a few things,
really,
but,
that's really great. I know so many of you, and it's not my age. I mean, some people probably think, oh, she's old, she can't handle all this stuff. I don't swear. Well, I have been known.
That's all right. I do enough for both of us.
Yeah, when somebody pinches me pizza, then I might. But that's because my mum never swore, and I only heard my dad swear, I think, oh golly, like twice in the part, he was 97, so twice in 97 years. And I don't care if other people swear. And I used to tell the kids that, if we go anywhere and they're swearing, don't be pulling them up, let them swear. But it's not an age thing. It's just because that's what I don't do. And I don't find the need for it specifically. But it does have its moments, like when somebody's eating your pizza.
Okay.
So what could I say? But thank you so much, Shirley, for joining me. I know you've been really, really busy. And thanks to everybody in chat. I can't see any chat whatsoever. And thanks to mods. And I hope we can meet again soon. We'll meet again. Whatever. So I guess, can I go and have a cig now?
Yes, go have a cigarette. Good night, everybody, and thank you.
Okay, night, everyone, and be nice. Gotta be nice, right, Shirley?
You're asking the wrong person. I'm going to plead the fifth on that.
Okay, do appreciate it, and I'm going to go and end the stream. So night, everyone. Thank you, and see you on the next live, whether it be on this channel, Maddie channel, or my happy channel. It's time I did a happy channel one. So
Good
anyway,
night.
night.